Yeah, you should text me later and tell me what it is.
Paula loves the spoilers. So you can tell her whatever the
You
fuck
can tell me
her.
anything. And I'll be like, what? That's amazing.
So you guys can have your reaction to when I text this to Paula right now. You can see her reaction and then go from there.
Well, what the...
I can't wait. I want to know all the things.
I don't want to get spoiled by a spoiler face.
That sounded dirty for some reason. I don't know
But that
why.
reaction, oh my god.
I'm get spoiled by your spoil face. Oh.
That's going to be a thing. Hashtag spoiler face. I don't know why it's so funny. I can't handle it. All right, we are ready for your spoiler face.
I'm waiting for my text message.
I'm trying to word it in such a way
Hurry
that...
up, Mike. Hurry up.
I feel like we should...
There you go.
Dang.
If I had to hurry up, that's all you're getting.
Dang, I knew it.
I feel like we should...
I knew it. Yep. I kind of thought that too. After I saw something and I was like, maybe that's that. And it, yeah. Yep.
Wow,
Yeah.
so vague.
There's that.
That's fine.
Agreed.
Keep it vague. I'm fine with this.
That's so cool.
So we should do a rendition of Poker Face done by all Bry Guy and his Super Friends, except
Dude,
it's Spoiler
I got
Face.
that.
Funny thing is,
Actually-
when I heard spoiler face, for whatever reason, poker face is what comes to mind.
Spoiler Face.
Oh, good lord.
Can't read my, you can't read my spoiler face. We've gone downhill. It's terrible.
Quickly. Do you want the spoiler that I found?
No.
Not you.
No.
I can text her.
I mean, you can text me. I'm
you
all
can
for
You
it.
don't, you don't want my spoiler face. I can't stop.
Here it comes. I love it. Shut up! Oh no! Oh my god!
That's what I read.
Oh
so-
man. Okay.
That dude, somebody put that right in the middle of a fucking Mortal Kombat comment
I
section.
don't know if I believe that, but if that's really true, I'll be like, what? I can believe 50% of that.
Man, did you see that Spoiler Face?
It was pretty good. I'm glad we got that on camera. Hello and welcome to another episode of Bright Guy and Super Friends. I'm your host, Brian Labick. Joining me for this episode is Paula Miller,
Raylo is my halo.
Andy Stoles,
What's up, podcast people?
and Mike Bradley.
Red 5 standing by.
There you go. Nicely done.
I have one now.
All right, so we're trying to play catch up a little bit. At the time this episode's released, you may be looking for our Avengers Endgame review, but I feel like by now you should know that we're usually a week behind for movie reviews. So that being said, some of us have now returned from Chicago after going to Star Wars Celebration, and there's a trailer we're talking about, so that's what we're going to cover for this one. So, of course, we're talking about the teaser trailer for Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
I thought this was for the Clone Wars trailer.
I mean, we could very quickly talk about it at the end. Paul and I could talk about the Mandalorian trailer we saw.
I also saw.
Oh,
was
the
amazing.
stupid bootleggers.
All the things are
Yep,
amazing.
somebody recorded it.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
It was like 6.5 minutes or something. I was very pleased to get a look at it. Looks awesome.
Yes.
Can't wait. I was so happy to see Carl Weathers on stage. That was fucking amazing.
Leslie's head about exploded when he walked out on stage.
It did.
she freaked the fuck out.
Nice.
So yeah, as I mentioned,
Predator fan that she is.
As we're sort of talking about, a few of us made it to Star Wars Chicago for Star Wars Celebration, where this trailer debuted. Paul and I were there, along with Leslie. I had packed up a little bit of podcast equipment, so we sat down after each day of the show. We were there all 5 days. Talked a little bit about our experience, what we did over the course of those days. So I'm going to plug that stuff in now. So I'll make sure I put a time code in the episode description. If you'd rather just skip our thoughts of Celebration and go straight to our talk of the trailer, you can do that. So I will put that time code in there. But coming up first is our Celebration report, which you can hear right now. All right, so this is us after day one of Celebration. I was going to say Orlando, but this is Chicago this time.
She's like, we're so tired. We're not sure where we are.
Yeah, so this is Brian, myself. We also have Leslie here. Say something. Introduce yourself. And Paula.
Raylo is my halo.
So we got through day one. We are trying to unwind from the day. So we're just going to talk a little bit about what the hell we did. What did we do today?
So many things. We did so many things.
We did all the things. We sat in things. We took pictures of things with people.
We met people. We got photos with people. We bought things. I bought things.
It's a Star Wars mall.
Yeah, basically. There's there's no panels on day one, which is the Thursday. So we tried to get the lay of the land, walked around for a good bit. We did... Yeah, I got a picture with Ashley Eckstein.
I did as well.
Paula also did. Leslie.
I got a picture with Freddie Prinze Jr.
I'm sorry, who's that?
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Can you explain?
Yeah, he voices a character on, one of those Star Wars cartoons.
Go ahead, give us the rundown here. Oh, that scared the crap out.
Pause. Maybe that means their pizza's here.
Probably.
Should we take a pizza pause?
Stop ringing.
So he plays this character called Kanan.
Doom.
I don't know.
It's funny because he has two names. So can you give us any of those names?
Kannan.
Kanan.
Listen, it doesn't matter. I've had a crush on Freddie Prinze Jr. since I was 13.
You were kind of freaking out.
I was hyperventilating. Like, if you'd have seen me, these guys didn't get this line with me, so I was, like, flying solo. That was a pun intended. Yeah. So I'm, like, standing in line just looking at people, and I'm like, I can't talk to anybody because I'm real sweaty, and I'm getting so nervous. I'm about to be Freddie Prinze Jr. Then I kept, the one guy was like, guys, make sure that you don't pass out. The guy was actually saying that, and I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna do it.
Was there anyone in line with you that was just as excited as you were?
I don't think. But there was a guy dressed in this giant Scooby-Doo outfit that he had, like, the Chewbacca belt and bow, crossbow. And he was in line, and he actually got a picture with Freddie Prinze Jr., which was so, so great. Because, as Freddie Prinze Jr. was Fred in the Scooby-Doo movie, so it was so awesome.
Totally worth it.
Yeah, but I instantly I was so excited.
What else do we do? There was a giant, if you followed the Star Wars Celebration or any updates for the show, there was a giant mural that was created that they put up. And why I can't remember the artist's name.
Jason Palmer.
Yes. Because we found his booth, which was selling prints of the mural. Paul and I broke down and bought the smallest one, which is still pretty expensive. And it is, 10 inches tall and 8 foot long? That we have no idea what the hell we're going to do with, but god damn it, we needed to get it.
And if I was worried about my husband actually listening to the podcast, then we could say it was $10. There might be a chance he's going to listen to this. Let's not tag him on anything.
I ended up buying the 40th anniversary picture that he did. And
Which is also really, really cool.
It's so cool. But I walked around with it during the whole day, because it was pretty early that we went and bought those. So I was advertising for Jason Palmer the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of people checking out the poster.
It was, yeah. And then I would flip the photo around, or thing around, and show them my picture of Freddie Prinze Jr. Which they were equally impressed by.
Yeah, what else do we found the van from Fanboys, which was really cool. They had sort of like sets built up that you take pictures in. So we got pictures inside the Millennium Falcon, both Han's version and Lando's version. What else do we get pictures in front of?
X-Wing.
Yeah, there was a big-ass X-Wing that they built that was really cool.
There was a huge TIE fighter there, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which was awesome.
And they had, the Lego display of the Stormtroopers, which was a Guinness Book World Record?
I believe that's what they said, yes.
I don't remember the stats for it, so I don't remember how many pieces or how big it was, but...
It was a cool, outline of a Stormtrooper's helmet and made entirely out of minifig Stormtroopers, which was incredible.
She also said that they weren't glued down, so you could just walk up there and pick one off. They didn't glue them down.
No one would do.
No, I don't know. Why did she say it? I know. Why did she tell me I could do that?
Yeah, don't put that idea in people's heads.
I didn't, because it was early on that we saw it, and I didn't want to instantly get kicked out.
So it's the 20th anniversary of Lego partnering with Star Wars. So they had awesome sets from the original sets from 20 years ago, and then the new versions of them that they have at your local Lego store. But they had built really awesome displays to go with the current build, which was amazing. A little timeline, and then we didn't stay for it, but they had some of the designers actually from Billund there talking about the sets, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah. What else? Was there anything else? Anything else stood out to you guys that we did on day one? It was a lot of walking around.
I was going back through my pictures,
soak everything in.
It was so much. A lot of fantastic cosplay.
Oh yeah,
So
that's always
much.
one of the best parts.
The Sailor Moon version of the Jedis. We saw a couple of Indiana Joneses.
It's all Disney in the same camp.
Oh my gosh, and while we were waiting in line to get in, we looked out the window and saw Muppet Stormtroopers, and it was the most exciting thing. And it was really funny to see, hear people around us also noticing them, because everybody would be like, those are Muppets, those are Muppet Stormtroopers, Muppet Stormtroopers.
Well, that was your reaction, too.
That was exactly my reaction. I was like, is that Skeeter? But it was Scooter, but still. I was pretty excited.
Saw Snoke.
Oh, yeah.
With a sign that says no snoking. A cool Greedo.
Yes.
Cool Greedo.
So yeah, Jedi of some kind.
Yeah.
We had the rapping stormtroopers that, or at least carrying around the boombox.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that was. I mean, those are mainly our highlights, really.
More photo opportunities than I actually expected.
Yeah.
And they give you time.
Yeah.
To really enjoy all the props, and as long as you stand in line for it. Which I'm kind of glad that we had time to do that today and kind of experience it today, because it's only going to get crazier.
Oh, yeah.
From here in.
And we shut it down, too.
We did shut it down.
Until the last moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paula's admiring her picture with Asajj Ventress.
I'm like, excuse me, can I have my picture with you?
Oh, we're trying on some helmets too.
Make sure that we try on all the things. Yeah, I think the guy at the end of the night was a little annoyed by us, but he's like, can I help you? I'm like, no, we're just enjoying ourselves. And I was being honest, and he didn't reply, so whatever.
They changed up the way the panels were working from when I went to Orlando to what they're doing in Chicago. Orlando was, you needed bracelets to get into panels. You had to camp out basically overnight to get a bracelet. You could only get 2 bracelets per day. It was a whole kind of, it sucked at the time, but it still was a very good memory, because that was the time I met Ryan Johnson, which is really, really cool. So this time they did lotteries for the panels. So we can put our name in a hat. They may pick us. Which, looking back, we got emails, the day before?
Yeah.
Saying we got overflow for episode 9, which is tomorrow. We got overflow for 20th anniversary of Phantom Menace, which is on Monday. And then we got main stage for The Mandalorian on Sunday, which
it's going to be ridiculous.
And even just listening to people in line talk about it, seems like we got lucky compared to a lot of other people that I kept hearing saying they weren't getting into any panels.
And I feel like now that Disney has launched all of the information for their streaming service, I think that the excitement level for Mandalorian is even going to be higher.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, so we'll report back after. We'll try to do this every day and just kind of recap what we've been through. Today was a lot of shopping and walking around, so that's all we got.
I hope there's not too much more shopping tomorrow.
Yeah, our wallets cannot take it.
Speaking of, I bought a new wallet.
for all the other stuff you'll be buying. All right. We'll close it down. This is the end of day 1. We will report back tomorrow. Tomorrow's episode 9, so we may have a lot more to talk about after episode 9.
I'm so
It's
excited.
amazing.
All right. We'll see you on day 2. All right. So we are back from a very long day 2, which I think we all feel more exhausted today than we did yesterday.
Emotionally, physically.
Everything.
Drained.
All right. So what we do today? We got there earlier. It was an earlier start today. So we did earlier, tried to get to the show early. We had passes to get into Galaxy Stage. We were in the overflow for episode 9.
And getting there early actually paid off for us because we were, 6, 7 rows back?
Yeah, we were prime seating for the overflow
right in the
stage.
middle.
Yeah.
It was great.
So I don't want to dive into too much, but we have to at least address the trailer. And being in the room. How did it feel being in the room for this debut? Well, in a room, not the room, but in a room.
Lots of energy, lots of people excited. The DJ really pumped us up. Pumped us up.
Aussie Dave.
Aussie Dave. So they had a lot of people just so excited to see the trailer. Us, of course, being some of those people. It was amazing, magical, fun.
A lot of cool people. That's this whole trip so far. Everybody that I've met has been just super awesome. So
Leslie's making all kinds of friends.
I'm making lots of friends. Yeah, lots of friends. But the panel itself was awesome. Just even though we weren't in the actual room, just the streaming felt. I felt like we were there.
Yeah. It helped that we were very close, so you're right in front of that big ass screen.
We couldn't see the bottom of the screen. It felt like they were actually on a stage. But, I was just overwhelmed. I was very overwhelmed. I think I cried a lot.
There were multiple, welling up moments watching.
Yeah.
Even the opening, they started it with, behind-the-scenes footage.
Yes, I
which
forgot about that.
were behind-the-scenes stuff that I'd never seen before. So all of that was that got me right at the beginning.
Behind the scenes from, A New Hope. Original stuff, not, the new ones. So it was just...
I think it's going to be very emotional knowing that this is the end.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And in that montage, they had George Lucas saying, his vision of Star Wars was 3 different trilogies.
Which, in itself, I always find funny, because when the prequels were out, it was always, it was only ever 6. I only ever talked about 6. And then you call him out. There's literally footage of him saying 9 movies. Yeah. And he's like, no, I've ever talked about 6. So you can tell he's just kind of making it up as he goes. There's no clear plan here. All right, so anything, just broad strokes about the trailer. We can't bring it up without at least talking about it for a little bit.
Looks like Rey is so badass in it.
Yeah. I feel like anything that I thought I wanted to see, or what I thought they might show us, this was nothing like that. I'm still just trying to soak it in. I still have no idea what the hell. If we do a full-blown trailer reaction type of thing, I don't know what type of theories we're going to come up with, because I feel like this could go anywhere.
I feel like it was very little of the First Order. We didn't see
a
lot of the
that's
First
true.
Order.
Yeah.
Not a lot of Kylo Ren. 2 shots maybe of him, one of the mask, one of him taking down some people, but nothing really no big weapon, nothing that.
That's good. If they do another super weapon type thing, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, it's a little overdone. We get it. So now it's a mental battle.
Yeah.
And then more of a war story.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of questions. The one that, for me, that I kept asking Paula about, I was like, where is R2-D2? I don't see R2-D2 anywhere.
We gotta make room for the new Dio.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The little head tilt.
The little thing looks so
the
cute.
little duck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it was based off of a duck.
It seemed like, from the sketches they threw up, yeah.
Whenever you see Billy D. Williams, Lando, behind the wheel, quote unquote wheel of the Millennium Falcon, I was like, whoa.
I got a lot of cheers.
I welled up so hard right there, especially because he's like, yeah.
I wonder how, he's not super smooth in the way he speaks.
Yeah.
It takes him some time to get to his point. His words are very, I don't want to say drawn out, but very measured. So he's not really quick to talk, but he's older as well.
Right.
I mean,
I feel like didn't he have, Didn't he have a stroke or something, too?
I don't know. I mean, he's not moving around like he had a stroke. He has a cane because I think he's just getting old.
Just because he's old.
Maybe like bad knees and
Maybe
stuff
I'm
like
thinking
that.
of
But
something else, but yeah.
I mean, one of the big things, I think, for anybody, no one knew Ian McDermott was involved in this movie. It's in, his laugh that comes through. And then he came up on for anyone that didn't watch the live stream or anything online from the panel, they played it once. The laugh is in the trailer, so you know he's involved in the movie. And then he comes out on stage and got a big round of applause. And then he told them to play it again as the Emperor, which was another big round of applause moment.
Play it.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good. Hey.
See?
I thought it was here.
Right? He's behind you.
I thought it was neat in the panel, too, that, like, JJ and them, they're all confident that Carrie Fisher's role is going to be, like, it's going to be tied in, and it's not going to be this awkward, like, she's just gone.
Yeah.
Deal. I'm excited to see how they made that work.
Right.
And they seemed very confident that they, did her justice. And
We're all going to be crying on this
oh
movie.
my god,
Definitely.
We're all going to be crying.
it's a mess. I'm gonna have to see it like right after I see it the first time, so that I can pick up what my eyes were.
That's not a bad idea, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Well, that worked with the trailer when we watched it again. Yeah, we definitely saw more because my eyes weren't quite as full of tears.
Yeah.
And I know Paul and I talked when we were waiting in line for the store about how we were actually really excited about Kelly Marie Tran getting a very big round of applause.
Right. That's when I teared up.
I teared up a lot because you could tell that meant a lot to her.
She was crying. You could see.
She didn't have to be there after all the shit that she went through, so I was glad to see her on stage and getting some love from everybody. That was cool.
I was like, good job, Celebration. Good job, Star Wars.
Yeah,
like,
agreed.
We
were talking we're not all dicks.
Yeah, it's not everybody. It's a very vocal minority.
And most of the people there, I would have, she was getting a standing ovation.
Yeah.
So
for a good solid couple minutes too.
In that giant theater.
Yeah.
So how amazing was that? And she loves Star Wars so much. Every interview that she did for The Last Jedi was how excited she was to be part of the project, how much she loves Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So I'm so glad for her.
Agreed.
So am I. Yeah. I think that was
that was our big thing today, right? Was the panel. Yeah. And then after that, it was running around to pictures, and the Celebration store has notoriously, at least from my experience in Orlando a couple years ago, getting into the store to get all the Celebration merch is always a headache. So we all kind of Leslie ended up splitting off a little bit because Paula and I had pictures to get to. But how long did it take you in line? About 3 hours ish.
It was just under 3 hours before I got in the store.
Yeah.
So I was excited. I'm like, sweet, we're ahead of time, because I broke off because my photo op wasn't until 4. Mm-hmm. So as soon as the panel ended, I got in line for the store, and they went off for their photos. I'm like, I knew I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
But I got in the store, and I'm like, sweet. And then I saw the line once you get into the store to check out. And I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be another hour in the checkout line. But yeah, I somehow managed to get to my photo op in time. I took off running. So I was pretty sweaty by the time I got there.
You made it, though. That's the important thing.
I made it, yes. I had to, bob and weave. Took off for the
If someone probably knows about being sweaty, it's probably Junus.
That's true. Chewbacca. There was a lot of sweaty Wookiees in line, actually, because people were dressed up.
Yeah, you got your picture with New Chewie. Mm-hmm. New Chewie.
With Jonas. And the top of my head hit his armpit. It was just fantastic.
And Paul and I we got in line after our pictures. I did team up with Sam Witwer and Freddie Prinze Jr., Kanan and Maul. So that was exciting.
I did Jason Isaacs, Grand Inquisitor, Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah, that was cool too.
Captain Hook.
What?
Yeah.
He's a man of many faces.
Oh my gosh. I stared him in the eyes because that's what I was paying for. Thanked him for his time.
I couldn't stare Jonas in the eyes. I could stare him in the belly button. That was about...
Yeah, I never really thought about that. Jason Isaacs are very close in height.
And then, so after our pictures, we went to the Celebration store. It took us probably about, 2.5-ish?
Yes. Yeah, because we were coming out while you were meeting us there, mm-hmm. so it was perfect timing, actually.
Yeah, one of the few things that worked out, sort of as planned as we went.
Yeah, as soon as I got out of the photo op line, though, I beeline for the bathroom because I hadn't peed since the morning.
Yeah.
I just didn't have time, and since I was broken off, like I couldn't leave the line. I mean, I liked the people I was around. We got along, but I didn't trust them.
People get cutthroat in that line. You don't know.
Yeah.
Be able to get back where you were.
And I think snacks are a very important thing.
Yes, we were living off snacks today.
Yeah.
And handing them out, too. We made friends that way.
We made friends.
That's true. That's also true.
We digress.
What else did we do? Anything other than we did pictures and stuff?
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Pictures,
cool
shopping.
cosplay today, too. Like,
Yeah.
I've had fun,
We were standing in line, and they were streaming the Lego 20th anniversary panel, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So apparently the Tantive 4... Tantive 4?
Yes.
Yes, came out, and they launched it today, just at Celebrations. So, but it's only X amount per day, so they'll be doing it every day.
Yeah, I'll be curious how many they sell. If they sell out all their allotted per day,
Yes,
or how all that goes.
they did today.
Yeah, well, that's cool. How many? Do you know how many they had?
I didn't.
Okay. And it was like 5, 10. Yeah. Anything? I mean, since we all did the Celebration store, anything stick out to you that you liked that you picked from the store?
I think I expected more merchandise, to be honest.
They do a lot of shirts. A lot of it's shirts.
Yeah, I expected a little bit more. I don't know.
Which I went crazy on shirts. So
What?
I think I walked out with like 6 or 7.
you definitely did.
I kept just like, oh, I want that one. Oh, there's this one.
I didn't really get to peruse too much because I wanted to grab something and get out because I was starting to get nervous that I wasn't going to make it to my photo.
It was like Leslie's supermarket sweep.
It was. I loaded my cart with turkeys, ran to the checkout. No, I got a sweet, looks like a hockey jersey sweatshirt for Star Wars.
Black and
Celebration,
gold.
yeah. And then we all ended up buying the same T-shirt, which was really funny. We're going to wear them tomorrow. No, we're not.
At some point. Maybe
a
not
little
tomorrow.
We're going to
together.
save them for Kennywood.
Yeah, anything else?
The Star Wars live stage.
Oh,
for
yes.
the
Yeah.
YouTube channel. They had a bunch of the people who were on the panel up on their stage, and then a poor planning probably is they were just walking them back out through the hallway. I don't
That's
think
what it
there's really
seemed
much.
like anyway, because
Yeah.
we were walking past the stage. JJ had just ended on the stage. We thought we'd get a glimpse of him. And then as we were walking to try to get food, there's a huge mess of, a mob of people just in the aisleway somewhere. And we're like, what the hell's going on? So as we got closer and just started to try to peek over the crowd, John Boyega's in the middle of the aisle just hanging out, taking pictures with people.
The top of his head, because I saw his hair from the panel. He had it braided. I'm like, oh, John Boyega.
Yeah.
I was excited that John Bodega. And then I got shit for it.
So yeah, our guess was sort of that they were just walking through the floor, and maybe he just stopped and hung out for a while on his way out, because I think we somehow got pictures of from
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac was hanging out in the autograph
crowd as
area.
well.
Ugh, I would have died. I would have died.
Who would have but look at her shoes.
They're Crocs. Come on now.
Sorry, inside
Crocs
joke.
are comfort and stylish. Mm-hmm. The ones I have,
Unless they're Star Wars, you won't see me wearing them.
they're cheetah. First off, I need to go on record as saying
let's hear it.
that before Paula knew my shoes were Crocs, she looked down and said they were cute, and I said, "Oh, thanks, they're Crocs."
I
And
didn't
then
have
she
my
threw up.
contacts in. So there might have been issues there. Sorry. Didn't mean to mislead you.
Anything else? I don't know. I don't think there's anything. I was trying to look through my phone, and most of my pictures are of random memorabilia and stuff like that.
I mean, the panels today really didn't stick out as mind-blowing as they are for the rest of the week.
Yeah, we're trying to hit a lot of panels the next couple days.
The next 2 days are going to be chock full of panels if we can get in them. So today's ones were kind of like blow-off ones where, if we can, get in line. Because yesterday, people were saying it was 8 hours to get into the Celebration store.
Yeah.
So
from what we heard, too, is they had, register issues and stuff,
Yeah.
and something went down.
Yeah.
Which also happened while I was in line to check out.
Yeah.
The registers went down for almost 20 minutes, and I wept. Again.
Star Wars fans are literally breaking the bank. So, yeah, we'll report back tomorrow. We'll see what panels we get into. We don't have anything reserved or lotteries for anything tomorrow. We're just going to try to hopefully try our luck and get in and see what we can get to. We want to try to hit specifically the Rebels panel. I think that was the only big one, right?
I'm hoping to get into the
Women of Star Wars.
Force.
Yeah.
Which would be so awesome if Daisy Ridley actually stayed.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
And ended up being there. Oh, if there was just, if only there was something as interesting in Chicago that she wanted to see and wanted to stay.
You never know.
That's very true.
Yeah. Sisters of the Force.
Yeah, it is that's the later panel, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if she hangs out that long.
Oh, I would die. Amazing.
All right, that's the end of day 2. We'll report back for day 3. All right, we are back again for the end of day 3. We talked. I can't remember if we talked about it on the podcast or off air, but it's going to be funny going back and listening to this. How progressively more tired we get after each day, which so far I think has been holding true.
Very.
It's another full day. We started with. No, we tried. Yeah, we were. The first panel we wanted to hit was the Rebels Remembered panel, which we thought we could get into the panel room. It wasn't the main stage; it was Galaxy stage. We thought we could get in there for an earlier panel and hang out, but they were clearing the panel room after each one. So we walked around for a little bit at first. Paula finally got something you were looking for, right? You went to your store first thing.
So because the exclusives, they only release X amount each day. And I feel like that goes with a lot of the, like, well-known
The booths and stuff.
booths.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exhibitators.
So, like, for 2 days, I was trying to get a specific shirt. So, third day, I didn't run, but I walked briskly, and I still was in a heck of a line to get this shirt. But I got it, and it was amazing.
Got through the line pretty quick.
Did get through the line pretty
All
quick.
things considered.
Yeah. I think because a lot of people have already gotten their merchandise, so third day. I'm thinking maybe even fourth day is going to be even less. But that line was still long. There was still quite a substantial line behind me. So we got some things done before. And I knew you wanted to go over to the books and the line
I tried
was out of control.
to beeline it to the Del Rey booth, and even as soon as this, we felt like we got in line to get on the show floor pretty early. Like, we're pretty close to the front of the line whenever they finally opened the gates to let everybody in.
And that's even after going in and getting in the queue for the panel that we didn't end up staying in because we decided it wasn't, that we couldn't.
So, yeah, even trying to get there that early, by the time Leslie and I tried to beeline it for the Del Rey booth, and it was still, the line was towards the doors going out of the show floor, and I was like, nope, it's not worth it. I don't need that. So, yeah, we walked around a little bit. We went back to queue up for Rebels. So we saw that panel, which was kind of fun because Leslie has not seen that show, so she got all kinds of details that she had no idea what the hell they were talking about.
I was still able to enjoy it. It was still very entertaining, and I feel like I'm going to forget everything that I learned. Well, some stuff. I mean, some
you're not going to learn everything there is to know about a 4-year series in an hour-long panel. But
I wasn't worried about
They went through the major stuff, though.
Yeah, how it ends.
Yeah, pretty big.
But still, I'm
that little detail.
Yeah. I think I'm sure I'll still enjoy it. But
you will.
But it was
Get your first taste of Dave Filoni.
He was freaking fantastic.
Yeah, he kind of
fantastic. I was impressed with the end when they opened it up to questions from the crowd. Like, I was actually impressed by the questions from the crowd. It wasn't like, there's always somebody like, oh, I love you, they say something stupid, but everybody's, even not watching the show, I felt like everybody's questions actually seemed...
And even, like, other panels that I've seen, not necessarily for Rebels, but there's other panels where Dave has been on them, and he gets a lot of questions directed at him, and some of them come across that way.
Yeah.
But he always fields them like a class act and doesn't make anybody feel stupid and is really good at interacting with people. Yeah.
I feel like he's the George Lucas we should have had.
Yes. He even got that compliment when we were in the room, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
The spirit of George Lucas lives within him.
Yes.
With on him? Definitely within him.
It's been a long day.
Maybe a little with on him.
Yeah, I don't know what... I was kind of hoping we'd get some sort of Rebels announcement, like a continuation of the series somehow, because it was left so open-ended. I thought we'd maybe get an announcement of a novel or a comic or something to see where this stuff goes. We got nothing. It was all just a look back at the series, which was still fun. But
right.
And then, we went from there to go over to the main stage. No. Wait, where do we go after that?
We met a chicken in a Boba Fett costume.
We got lunch.
Yeah, we got lunch.
Right.
We got lunch to take over.
And then we met the chicken. But then, we went to Sisters of the Force. Hosted
that was the
by
main stage
Ashley
panel. Yeah.
Eckstein.
And we queued up for that. We was it 2 hours early that we queued up?
Probably.
It
about
didn't
that.
feel like we waited that long though. But we were really close to the front of the line again, and you had to queue up outside, which was scary. But it was actually kind of nice, so we lucked out there.
Yeah, we got in there, and then they keep a front section of the arena open, I guess, for like VIP or reserved seating or something, and it got close enough to the panel that some of that seating was not filled up, so we moved up like 10 rows, and we're actually really, really close to the stage.
Yes.
For that panel. And then I think we all three of us had a different idea of what the panel might be, and then instead it was just an emotional roller coaster, and we all just felt kind of drained after that panel.
I don't feel like it was an emotional roller coaster. I feel like it was just like emotional, like just downward spiral.
That might be more accurate.
It was no ups and downs. It was just all down.
I definitely think that it had a lot to do with women being the center of, pulling emotions out of fans.
Yeah.
There's Hera, who's, we were talking earlier that, or listening earlier, like she's a mother figure, and she was on the panel, and Ahsoka, who's such a warrior, and Padme, who's such a fighter, and people they really spoke about fans that have inspired them, and who embodied their roles and how they want to be more like their characters in that aspect. And it was a beautiful panel. It was great to hear these women really showing how their characters affect themselves and affect fans.
Yeah.
And they got the whole Star Wars is for everyone.
Star Wars is definitely for everyone.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yes.
Which is great.
Great. It was a great uplifting, well, at some points, tearful moments as they talked about fans who have affected them, who have, cancer or have been bullied, and how, Star Wars is really meant to be inclusive, and how they're really ambassadors of that.
Oh, yeah.
It's, such a critical and important role for them, and how they really embrace the fans and embrace that role.
Yeah. It was well put together.
Definitely.
I think that was the only other panel. Yeah, that was the only other panel we did. We only did the two. And then we walked around some more. We took a lot of pictures. I feel like we found a lot of good pictures today with people.
When we first walked in, it was like when we walked over to the booth that Brian wanted to go to, and on the way, like right as soon as we realized that line was way too long, we turned around and like, oh, what else could we do? And there was a Chewie on stilts, like a giant, excellent Chewie on stilts, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get my picture with Chewie. So I ran over and got my picture with Chewie, and then we were walking around and we ran into our friend that we met in the episode 9
yesterday,
panel.
yeah.
We met Colin.
Shout out to Colin.
Yeah, shout out to Colin.
And his Instagram. What's his Instagram again?
Crappy cardboard cosplay.
Yes.
Hashtag crappy cardboard cosplay.
Amazing.
Yeah, he does
amazing cosplay.
Yeah, he does these cardboard character outfits, and they're really fantastic. They're meant to be like, it's kind of just the satire on cosplay, but not in a disrespectful way.
Yeah.
It's just. So yeah, I got a picture then. He was cardboard Chewie. So,
which he wasn't during episode 9. He was cardboard
Bosk.
Yeah,
he was Bosk. Because I wonder what else he has a Vader one, I know, just from looking at his Instagram. I wonder how many he brought. I know when I talked to him yesterday, he was talking about, he came in from London. And he was talking about only taking his carry-on. And he's like, I brought 2 pairs of jeans and a couple t-shirts. And then all the rest of his stuff is just cardboard cosplay.
Dedication to his craft.
Yeah, that was excellent. But so we saw him. We saw a lot of fun people today.
You made a lot of friends yesterday when you were in line, too.
Yeah.
At the celebration store.
Yeah. Was in line for a long time since I split off by myself. But everybody's been so friendly.
Very much so.
You were talking to somebody else from, where was that? The Jedi that you were talking to earlier today. Was he from London or somewhere?
Somewhere from England.
There?
Yes.
Yeah, he had an. That's what I just said. We should have got his. We didn't even get his name. We just kept running into him. He was just find us somehow. We look over and there he is.
We came back from the. Which panel was it? Where he said it spoiled the. It was the Sisters of the Force panel that said that he said it spoiled the ending of the series for him or something. What did he say?
Yeah. The was it?
They showed the last
Sisters
episode.
of the Force. Yeah. They showed because one of the women on the panel is a character from the Star Wars Resistance.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. She plays Tam.
Yes, and in my worst British voice, I'm going to tell you, he was very upset because he found out that she was a baddie. She's a baddie.
Apparently, they screen the episodes in the U.S. earlier than they do in England. So
3 weeks, 3 weeks before they get them.
He apparently had not seen that episode.
Across the pond.
So was fairly upset that they spoiled the ending for him.
Sorry, friend.
In the panel.
He's a cool dude, though.
Yeah, but going back to the pictures we were taking, we found, like, just walking along the floor, there was a remote-controlled R2-D2. That Leslie and I found.
Yeah.
And then shortly behind him was BB-8. So then I got my picture with BB-8, which was freaking amazing.
Whatever.
Oh, I know. And the guy controlling him was even like moving BB-8's little head around so that it was like for everybody that got pictures.
Because when I first kneeled down, BB-8 was not looking at the camera, and the guy goes, "Oh, sorry," and then spun the head around and looked at the camera.
So great. Yeah.
So that was really fun.
I think one of Leslie's favorites was Luke with the pigeons from the bad lip reading.
Yeah.
Bad lip ring seagulls.
Stop it now.
We've been singing it for forever.
Don't fall asleep.
And it was so well done. They had seagulls floating around his head.
The Thursday we're driving over, Paula had not apparently seen this song, so we played it for her on the drive over, and we've been repeating the lyrics to this song for the last couple days. What other? There were so many. There was a Spider-Man Jedi.
Yes, that was awesome.
So that was a fun little mashup.
I did see Deadpool dressed up as Slave Leia.
I missed
amazing.
that one.
I didn't see that one. No. We had a Nana Fett, which just was an actual Nana. We saw her in the bathroom without her helmet on. That sounds.
And don't forget our piece de resistance.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about this one. We found Ben Swolo, which is shirtless Ben Solo from The Last Jedi.
And I'm telling you, out of all the Ben Solos we've seen, he was probably the closest feature-wise in his face.
Yeah, he looks pretty good.
Yeah. He even sounded like him a little bit. It was kind of scary. Maybe it's Adam Driver's little brother. He's out of work.
We had there was a really, really good Captain Phasma early on.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about her.
Chirrut Imwe.
Yeah.
Yes.
We caught him leaving the convention.
He totally had the blind eyes. It was ridiculous.
His
and
face.
Poses. He did different poses with the people who were getting pictures with him.
You have to see the one that I got of him just by himself.
Amazing.
And the sun's shining on him. What?
He's beautiful.
Oh my God.
There was one guy we found earlier too. There was a scout trooper with a bunch of Ewoks attached to him.
Yep.
So he could pose like he's being attacked, which was fantastic.
And the biggest porg I've ever seen in my life. Oh, and Boba Chicken.
Yes, which was from Family Guy. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So that was
I did not know that.
Like the Star Wars Family Guy. Like Peter Griffin always fights the big chicken. So Peter was Han Solo in there, so his nemesis is Boba Fett, so they dressed the chicken up like Boba Fett.
Amazing.
The best part was some guy was like, "Oh man, what's your name? What's your character name?" He's like, Boba Chicken." Nothing.
Leslie got a couple pictures with a couple dudes. Like the
dudes with the Big Lebowski. That's right. That's so funny because I was like walking towards them and they must have just met each other. And they were like, "Can you take a picture of us?" And I was like, "Only if I can take a picture with you." I was pretty excited about that.
Did they know each other? Or they just
they just met each other.
Yeah, it's not like they were exchanging information.
That's amazing.
Well, then they both are from Florida. They found out, which is not creepy. I just overheard it. I wasn't listening.
We've all become friends.
Well, we were standing in line after our panel to collect some of this free swag we got, and there was a Padme behind us who I overheard her. She was talking about how she ran into some very, very tiny, like 3 or 4-year-old Anakin, somebody dressed up as Anakin, who apparently had made the necklace, like 3D printed the necklace for apparently a couple, like they made a bunch of them, and he was handing them out to different Padmes that he found, which sounded like the cutest thing ever.
I know.
Adorable.
So there you go. You overheard someone's conversation and joined in.
I did a little bit.
We're rubbing off on you,
a little
Brian.
bit. Yeah.
That's all we do all day long. Is just join everybody else's conversation.
And I feel like everybody here is friendly.
They're okay with
that.
Yeah,
we're meeting all kinds of different people.
Yes.
By just joining in conversations.
When we queued up for the droids panel that we didn't end up going in, the first guy in line looked over and he says, I remember you guys. You were in line in front of me on Wednesday. He's like, yeah, you guys were excited about the Muppets and kept singing Cheeseburger in Paradise.
You're making an impression.
It's true.
We're like, yeah, that's us.
Oh, there was one booth, too, for the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes mobile game. They let you hold a lightsaber, and they would frame it like you're fighting Darth Vader, which was fantastic. Paula's pissed. Cool. We got to get you back there, because you didn't get a chance. No, you did do that.
I did get it. Yeah, mine didn't turn out as good as your guys.
You didn't have that. You didn't have our guy.
I didn't have the right guy.
Yeah, our guy was like, stand here on the tape. I'm going to go back here behind this tape, and I'm going to lean down and get it. He knew what he was doing.
Maybe I'll do it again.
He was like, I went to film school. Let me use it. That was so fun. There were so many, I feel like every time that we go, well, first off, every time we are on our way there, somehow our parking gets mixed up. Then we have, this stress of, oh my gosh, everybody's a little bit angry. And then as soon as you walk in, it's just joy. It's just straight joy.
I feel like I got to shout out I've seen, tons, more than I expected, of Mara Jade cosplayers, so I'm excited for that, just to have her live on, since she kind of died with the EU. I'm still waiting for her to pop back up. I don't know, anything else? Feel like that was about it.
Yeah, we didn't do a ton today. We did panels. We tried to wait.
Tomorrow's going to be a big panel day too.
And we did get some swag with the panels.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got some artwork with both of them, which was really cool.
Yeah, we got the Women of the Force Constellation mini poster from the Sisters of the Force panel. Mm-hmm. They had extra swag cards for the Jedi Fallen Order panel. So we got a poster and a pin in a month of Xbox Live from
That's awesome.
From that panel.
That's so cool.
So we'll see, because we're in celebration stage tomorrow, which is the main stage for The Mandalorian first thing in the morning. So we'll see if we get anything good from that. I'm really excited for that panel to know anything about that show.
Oh my god!
And then we're going to try to hang out there for conversations with Alan Tudyk, and the Clone Wars sneak peek is tomorrow too.
So we're going to be pretty much just sitting.
We're hoping, we can just hang out there all day for all that.
Can.
And hopefully, and then I keep bugging Leslie to buy a lightsaber, so we're going to see
if sure she's going
if she gets one by the end of this trip.
I probably am. I know it's going to happen. Because I was just thinking, I'm like, I really haven't put that much on my credit card.
Paul and I are, first 2 days are done.
Yeah, you guys went hard. Well, you guys both got that mural, so that's...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I only spent $80 there.
Well, that was the Celebration store. Yeah, we spent a couple hundred at the Celebration store, too.
Well, I want to go back to the Celebration store, too. That's on my list of things.
No, I didn't.
Sorry.
I didn't.
We'll cut that out.
I've been good.
Brian did.
Edit.
You were holding his stuff.
We did. There's a photographic evidence of the swag that I walked out with at that store. So I can't deny how much I bought there.
It's true.
It is on the internet.
I took that picture.
I've already got my money's worth of my shirt. That jersey shirt that I bought is the best shirt in the world. I'm so happy.
Yeah, nobody can see it, but you're wearing it right now.
Exactly. It looks fantastic. Well, I look tired, but it still looks good.
All right, anything else last minute? I think that's it for day 3. We'll close it down.
Okay.
All right, day 3 is done. We'll report back for day 4. All right, so this is day 4. Yeah, we had to think about day 4.
Yep.
What did we do today, Paula and Leslie?
It was basically a panel day.
It was a panel day.
We sat on our butts for hours and hours and watched amazing Star Wars content.
Yeah.
So I think we had mentioned the last time, we had passes to get into Mandalorian first thing in the morning, which started at 11 a.m. We've had parking debacles, so we got there early to make sure we got a decent lot, which actually worked out for us finally.
Yeah, it was a little pricier. I think it was the priciest.
It's only $1 more than the first place.
$1 to make you holler.
It was only $1 more, but it was
convenience-wise,
Convenience
very
wise,
easy.
worth that extra dollar.
it was $8 more than the parking lot B where we kept getting yelled at and giant potholes.
Because we don't work there, and
We had to go through an employee entrance. We had to
Trucks.
walk 45 minutes.
Like dodging with semis.
That one was scary, but it was cheaper.
We knew it was going to be cold this morning, at least just from getting outside. And, of course, we parked. We had some time to kill since we weren't worried about getting in line because we had the QR codes to get into the panel, so we took our time. And then as we're sitting eating breakfast, we realized that it started to snow, and then it did not stop snowing pretty much the entire day. So it actually worked out in our favor that we were in the celebration stage all day. We did not have to brave the elements. As soon as we even tried to get to the panel, 2 hours early? We left breakfast 9 o'clock or something, right?
Yeah.
And they were letting us in.
Yeah, so luckily once we got over there, they started letting us in, so we really didn't get to deal with the cold all that much. That was very lucky.
Well, it was nice that they didn't clear out the arena so that we didn't have to leave, then queue up for the next panel again or whatever. We were allowed to just stay.
We couldn't remember why that was, but we knew it was a thing.
Yeah.
We're not sure how we got that information, but we knew.
I remember reading it whenever they were sending emails and stuff.
About winning the lottery.
Of course, I couldn't find it again to confirm that. We had to ask staff there to make sure, but
honestly, you ask staff anything here, and you ask the person next to them, and they're going to tell you something different.
Yeah.
So,
but the Mandalorian was full.
Yeah.
The other two shows afterwards were not full.
Yeah.
And the higher balconies did not fill up.
Right.
and we think it's probably because of how bad it was snowing. People were like,
the weather,
you know
I'm
what?
sure, kept people away.
It wasn't just like snowing heavy; it was snowing sideways.
It was
like,
windy,
it was
very
gross.
windy.
It was gross.
Disgusting.
All right, so let's get to the panel. So first one we had Mandalorian, which we got some exclusive stuff that the internet live stream did not. We got a behind the scenes video talking about some of the creation. Well, I'm sure there were people. Favreau did not tell people not to tape this one, which there were people in the aisles as soon as the lights went down and people had their phones out. It was easy to tell who was recording and who wasn't. So there was staff going up and down the aisle saying, "Turn your phone off."
And I was one of those people until about 8 seconds in, and Brian's like, "You need to turn it off." Like, okay. So I almost taped it.
Well, because they were going around with flashlights.
Yeah.
And because there was one part in the trailer I missed because somebody got a flashlight shown at them and it was like, whoa.
Yeah, well, I think it's just from browsing Twitter. I'm pretty sure that video at least had made it online, so they didn't catch that enough. So he killed the feed. We watched that behind the scenes thing, which wasn't too much. It was just kind of explaining to us the tone of the show and what they were trying to do, which they talked about on stage anyway. And then they showed some more behind the scenes stuff. Favreau talked about practical effects, and they were talking about the models of the ships that they were building and how they shot that all practically, which was a really cool behind the scenes video that they showed.
With the Razor Crest.
Yeah, that was the name of the ship, yeah. And then, I can't remember if they showed anything else to the live stream, but then they tried to sign off the panel, and then people started getting up to leave, and they killed the feed, and then Favreau's like, no, sit back down, we got other stuff to show you. So we got a couple minute long clip from an episode, and then we got a trailer at the end of it too, which I haven't checked to see if any of that stuff hit the internet, but that would not surprise me. Right. Yeah. So what did you guys think of all the stuff we were shown?
I think first the crowd interaction, because apparently there's a huge Mandalorian following with a group called the Mandalorian Mercs.
Yes, the Mercs, yeah.
So half the fun was watching them lift their helmets like every 5 seconds, but they were all together in one section. I thought that was amazing. I think the show looks very like down and dirty, like what they were speaking of it being a Western, kind of like a samurai Western, which is kind of going back to what George Lucas really wants from Star Wars. So with Dave Filoni in charge and the partnership that he's having right now with Jon Favreau is absolutely amazing. Like, it was just like a bro panel. Like they were very Bondy up there, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. But you can tell like the love and the care that's going into everything in the series, and then the amount of creative directors that they have working on this is just mind blowing as well. Yeah,
that was a little bit that I think some of those were announced before, but in the behind the scenes video we were shown, they listed, I guess, the directors that are tackling all the first season of episodes, however many they were doing. Mm-hmm. But like Taika Waititi, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Bryce Dallas Howard. I know I'm forgetting others. I'm trying to remember who all was in that video. I can't remember.
It was so fast.
Yeah.
It went so fast. But I'm sure the content is out there somewhere.
Yeah.
For exactly who's doing what. Or maybe it's not, because it's super secretive. Everything is a secret. If there's one thing I learned, you have to be in Dave Filoni's trust tree.
Yes.
We learned so much.
That you're not going to be in Dave Filoni's trust tree.
All of us are
not
not in
happening.
Dave Filoni's trust tree.
I was excited that Carl Weathers is in it. I lost my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I feel like I was just like, what? Just really loud.
I know whose autograph you're getting in 2 years.
Close to the air.
Yeah, so that panel was good. I'm trying to think. I feel like there was more to talk about there, but I can't.
Was that hosted by Warwick Davis?
No. Kathleen Kennedy and Favreau and Filoni came out to introduce it, and then she left the stage, and then it was the two of them took over.
Yeah.
But that looks really good. Even the clip we saw was nothing fantastic, but it
was enough to wow us.
Yeah, it nailed the tone of the show, which was really cool.
It was neat to hear like how long this has been in the this was a long time ago that they started talking about this.
Season 1 of Clone Wars and the original Iron Man.
So
when they started.
Well, that was when they talked about when they met. I don't know if that was when the idea happened.
Okay.
Because he played. Well, no, it was part of it.
I think they were tossing around for a while. I don't know when it.
He actually wrote episodes.
Yeah. Because they made it seem like Favreau was at like ILM and Skywalker Ranch and all that stuff when they were working on Iron Man. Filoni was doing season 1 of Clone Wars. The two of them had crossed paths, and they said they were like sampling each other's stuff. So Favreau showed Filoni Iron Man, and Filoni showed Favreau Clone Wars, and then Favreau wanted to be a part of Clone Wars, so then they gave him a voice acting job for Pre Vizsla in one of the earlier seasons. And they've, I guess, kept in touch since then, and since Favreau's had this idea for so long, they finally had it happen.
Best friends.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to be best friends with them?
Definitely, yeah. Yes, I would. So that show looked awesome. We hung out in the celebration stage for the second show was Conversations with Alan Tudyk, which is I love that guy. He's fantastic.
He's very funny. And his Warwick Davis did host that panel.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
A 2-person panel anyway. Him and Alan Tudyk, and like they were both very funny, hilarious.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it immensely. I didn't know about his scope of work really.
Alan Tudyk.
Yes, like I know of him, but I didn't realize like how creative he was, especially with he kind of gave us a background on K2 and everything that he had to do to create that character, and
it was neat to hear that a lot of the lines that are in it, he was just his improvised lines.
Right. Yeah, that was great.
It makes sense because it sounds like him.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I don't know if it's some of the behind the scenes of Rogue One somewhere. I can't remember where I saw it or something, but he referenced it in the show as one of his improvs. But the slapping Cassian and then talking about like there's a fresh one if you mouth off again. I know he improv that because if you watch the scene, and I think Diego Luna talked about it, that line made Diego laugh. And at the time, he's covering his face in the shot because he got slapped. But under his hand, he is laughing his ass off. And they use the cut. If you're watching for it, you can tell he's laughing behind his hand, which is fantastic. And then they talked a little bit briefly about Tudyk coming back for the Cassian show for Disney Plus, which at the end of it, he said he had a clip of, which it was a rough form of special effects with K2, so I can't tell if they just hurried up and threw something together for the panel, or if that's actually a rough cut of something that's going to be in an episode somewhere, which I can see either way. Yeah. It was hard to tell, but he's playing with action figures, which was funny.
He's very funny.
He was reenacting the scene from Firefly where he's playing with the dinosaurs in the ship. the curse you sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Yes,
but he's got a stormtrooper and Darth Vader, and he's playing with them. It was such a fun mashup.
And Paula didn't understand because she's never fireflied. Yes, whatever.
Listen, I was excited to understand something.
I understand that reference.
I understand that reference.
So I mean, like all the stuff between Rebels and the Clone Wars when we went to today, Leslie's oblivious to all this stuff.
Sorry,
so
Not completely oblivious. I've watched some. I just haven't finished everything. Like I was just late to the game on those. So
You didn't. You were supposed to do your homework before you attended class.
that's a lot of homework. I don't have enough time.
So yeah, that was our third panel. Third panel was Clone Wars, the sneak peek of the next season. Which, again, we get more Filoni today, which was always fantastic. We got the majority, if not all of the cast, eventually hit the stage. They talked a little bit about what to expect for the... I guess it's just one more season they're going to do, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then it's going to end.
12 episodes.
Yes.
Well, is it going to end, or he just said that that's all that he could trust them with?
No, I think it's got to end. Because I think because the show was sort of like prematurely canceled, and they had a lot of idea where the show was going to end.
Okay.
And then when Disney bought Lucasfilm and they canceled the show, all these stories got left untold. So this is just like a wrap-up season to finish all these arcs that lead into, obviously, like Episode 3 and then what's beyond that. So we got some more character sketches. We got designs. We got, 2 or 3 clips that they showed?
3 little clips. There was Ahsoka, there was Maul, and there was
The 3 guys. Or the...
and
Clone.
Rex.
Yeah, the clone
The clones.
troopers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, those special 90... Wait.
Yeah.
Order 99 or...
Bad.
Something 99. The
Bad Bunch?
Like the Bad Batch.
Bad Batch.
That's it, yeah.
4 clone troopers.
Genetically modified super clone troopers. Super troopers? Super troopers.
Sorry.
But yeah, that was we got, and then it ended with the trailer.
Yeah.
We got a trailer, which I haven't looked. I don't know if they officially released that trailer or if that was just for us.
They have Anthony Presendikin from Entertainment Weekly actually posted the trailer so you can watch it.
So the trailer's out there. Okay. Oh, that was the other thing is they talked about, Filoni alluded to you get a little bit of taste of it in the trailer, but a lightsaber battle between Ahsoka and Darth Maul, and how they haven't really done like full-on Jedi lightsaber battle in a while, and they really wanted to make this, that he was hyping it up as being one of the best battles that you will see in this series. And they talked about how to choreograph a lightsaber fight which was a nice little nod that he referenced calling up Ray Park and having him come in and do mocap to, make the fight look better for the choreography and stuff for the fight. So that's, whenever you get to that episode and that scene, you have to remember then that Ray Park basically mocapped the entire fight, which is going to be freaking nuts.
It's going to be amazing.
Even just that little clip. Like, we found a GIF of it that was just looping it over and over again, which we'll probably just watch over and over again for a while.
It's true. Already did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 17 times a day.
Yep.
So that was the majority. I mean, we hit the show floor for a little bit at the end. I spent more money.
Yeah, we went back into this. We were able to use the light speed pass finally, or whatever it is. The light speed lane on the app finally worked, and we could register for a time to go into the store.
The amount of time that we saved getting in, Leslie lost checking out because they couldn't get anything to work.
Yeah, I know. And they even ushered me to like the Jedi VIP pass lane because there was nobody in there. They're like, go ahead over there. Took me forever, and the kid, he was dumb. But while we were in there, Jonas, new Chewie, was just shopping around in there.
I did take a couple pictures of that too.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, see if you can pick him out.
Oh yeah, he's the tall guy.
The tall guy in the
He's
background.
the really,
we didn't want to
really
get
tall guy.
We didn't want to crowd him or get too close to him. He was over by the screen printing thing, and we were talking about that. And as we're talking about that, he just walked past us. Like, directly past us with his wife and kid.
Well, as soon as you walk in, so there's a section of the store where they have screen printing, where they have certain designs you can get screen printed on a shirt right there at the store. And as we walked in, Jonas is over there screen printing his own shirt. or at least a shirt for somebody. So I was like, oh, look, he's working at the screen printing shop. And then he just got out and started walking around. But of course, he's flanked by like staff members and stuff, so you can't just go up and like start talking to him and taking pictures and stuff. So, yeah, he's easily identifiable, being as tall as he is, walking around.
Yeah.
I
met some people that I've been following on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and actually, Brian, that was all you, because you're like, hey, there's some Save Ben Solo t-shirts. Yeah. And they're like, do you want a sticker and a pin? And apparently, like, handing out swag is, like, the thing to do here, is everyone's handing out pins and just being so friendly and engaging. And I said yes, and she gives me this pin, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I follow you on Twitter. And I did, and I did a picture, and she liked it, and I'm like, yay. I'm like, I feel like I'm...
networking. Star Wars
networking. I'm like, I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity. Twitter celebrity. And I spent no more money. Absolutely none. Not a penny.
Leslie got a little bit more, right? Yeah, you got something.
Yeah,
at
that
the
was
store.
the purpose. Yeah, because the purpose
there was a reason
of me going to the store was because I wanted to get that little Death Star planter.
It was cute.
It was so cute. I'm going to put an aloe plant in it. That's something that the guy asked me when he was checking out. I'm like, just bring it up. Who cares?
For the record, still no lightsaber.
Oh.
I want a special one because we saw one today.
And you are special. You deserve one.
Exactly. There was one that turned every color so it can change with my moods.
Yeah, so
they change quickly.
The stock, like, Force Effects lightsabers around. So we were trying to convince her to get a mace one. That was the one that she was fixated on.
A stock lightsaber? Don't you know who I am?
But the more we've talked about it, the custom built lightsaber websites, Saberforge, Ultra Sabers, either of those, I think she's starting to realize she can make what she wants.
Exactly, and I deserve what I want. Well, if I'm going to spend that much money, I'm going to spend it on something that I really want, you know? Yeah.
She's worth it.
Because, baby, I'm worth it.
So I think, that wraps up pretty much day 4.
And we're not zombies, so...
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
I've been drinking my emergency every day. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting the crud. I refuse to get the crud.
It probably won't hit, if at all. If you get it at all, I'm sure it won't hit you this weekend. As soon as you get home, right before Easter, you will get sick.
Nope.
You might not. I haven't been taking any of this stuff. I'm probably going to get sick.
No, I brought enough for everybody.
Yeah. I'm not taking my vitamins.
I'm ready. I have also been hitting the pillow and falling asleep instantly, so...
Yeah.
Leslie, are you okay? No answer.
That's done.
She's sleeping.
Paula, I think her and I watched something on YouTube from the Star Wars show last night. It was like a 10-minute long video. And after that, Leslie was out. Mm-hmm. She disappeared. We didn't know what happened to her. She was in bed. All right, one more day. So we have Phantom Menace 20th anniversary first thing in the morning, I think.
We're streaming, yeah.
Yeah, we're in the overflow room for that. And then we might try to do conversations with Warwick and closing ceremonies, or the other 2 panels. I don't know if we'll hit the floor. You still have a picture or something.
I
right?
have a picture, with Brian Herring at noon, hopefully. We're get that in, that in.
We're trying to get there early and get in the front of the line and get on the floor right away so you can get the...
I'm still searching for my Del Rey book and exclusive cover.
We're going to get there early.
And then we can queue up.
We're going to make an appearance.
I'm going to walk that floor.
We're going to work it.
I'm going to get all the free stuff I can.
10 more bags.
10 more bags. I don't care. We'll take 14 bags full of Ziploc bags. They're free.
We've been getting a lot of fun swag, that's for sure. Lots of fun swag.
It's a good thing we didn't fly out here, because there's no way we're going to bring all this shit back.
Yeah. I just burn some of my clothes. I just don't. You can stay. You ship it to yourself. I bought enough t-shirts. I have more t-shirts.
I know. I have way too much fucking stuff. I'm gonna have to definitely go through my closets when I get home and get rid of some stuff.
You won't.
I think I'm up to like probably more likely.
You're just gonna cram more things in.
My hang, all the pole that holds on my shirts is just gonna fall over. Too much weight.
We won't judge.
All right, so that's it for day 4. We'll be back one more time.
Woo.
All right, so we have closed down the show yet again. This is the end of day 5. We have made it through the long weekend, and Leslie and Paula have now officially closed out their first Star Wars celebration.
We came, we saw, We shopped.
Shopped we did. I think we all... Well, maybe not Leslie. You were still in budget, right?
Not really. I mean, I didn't spend as much as you do. I mean, as much as Brian. Paula didn't spend anything.
Brian did.
Yeah, Paula didn't spend anything.
Sorry, yes.
Paula didn't shop at all.
Thank you. Things just fell into my arms.
We did get a lot of free stuff.
We got some swag. Everything I'm bringing home is free.
Wow.
You made out then. You made out pretty well.
Yes, people like me.
All right, so what do we do today, last day of the show?
We sat in line.
Yeah.
We started in line so that we could go get a special cover of a book. And we got there, and as soon as we got there, they told us it was sold out. So that was the start of our day.
Which is kind of sad. That's kind of sad.
I didn't like that at all.
Some of that stuff I expect, I guess, but I don't know how many limited per day they were giving out. I mean, we're sitting in line with general admission tickets, and you can see people running around the floor before we can get in. So I don't know if it's all the VIP passes or...
Yeah. That's what that one guy was saying.
Just the people that get to the floor earlier than everyone else. They get first crack at everything, so by the time we get there... And we seen the line the couple days before. I didn't bother venturing in the line, so I don't know if I would have stayed in line, if that would have been any better, if it was just today that they sold out that quickly or what. But
then we got to stop by this beautiful diarrhea, and you got
diarrhea.
You got to see some beautiful diarrhea.
The diorama, yes.
I was thinking perhaps you actually didn't mean to misspeak. Okay, I'm glad that you did.
Yeah, they were building it, I guess, over the course of the weekend, which is like right as you enter the floor, which I tried to take a bunch of pictures. I need like a nice camera to really get the details from it, but I tried to pick out what I can, because there's a bunch of Easter eggs in the diorama. They had like a little mini George Lucas with a camera there. They had, what else did they had the cast of Rebels there, all the characters, not the cast, the characters of Rebels were all together. It was, the whole diorama was the Battle of Scarif.
They had Jurassic Park.
Yeah, there's a raptor floating around. Yeah, Ben Swallow was there, shirtless Ben Solo. There was one, there was Jin, K2, and Cassian I'd seen. Director Krennic was in there. They had one figure that was Alan Tudyk in his motion capture suit.
Yeah. That was amazing.
I'm trying to scroll through my pictures here. The Bumblebee was on the battlefield somewhere.
There was a bunch of stuff.
Oh, the two stormtroopers combing the battlefield.
Oh yeah.
From Spaceballs. That was pretty fantastic.
My favorite was the stormtrooper stuck on the beach with a volleyball, and it looked like Wilson from Castaway. That was my favorite.
Spelling help.
Help. That was my takeaway.
In the sand there.
Yeah. I wanted to go back and see it, but I noticed that people were picking it up before they left.
Yeah, they were starting to dismantle it by the time I got back there, because I wanted to I started taking pictures of it. Just taking pictures of the whole thing, and then as I got closer and started realizing all the stuff that was hidden in there, I started paying more close attention and tried to zoom in with my phone, which is hit or miss on some of these pictures, but I wanted to have another crack at it, but we were too busy running around from panels and shows and trying to get any last minute things. So yeah, we lucked out with the books, which is, it happens. It's fine. I'm not bitter about it at all. We did...
At least they didn't waste your time. The guy came through and told everybody in line, apologize.
So we did do a couple panels again today. We had the QR codes for 20th anniversary of the Phantom Menace panel. We were in overflow for that one, which was good. I think I expected a little bit more from it.
I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the people that were here this weekend, and so Ian McDermott and
Ray Park
came out first, and they had some. I was, really happy to hear their stories. It was pretty cool. And then Anthony Daniels and
Ahmed Best
came out and told us some stories as well.
Yeah,
how excited they were to get the call that they were, going to be joining the cast after 16 years. That we haven't had a Star Wars, and they were really excited to get the call. But I wanted a little bit more.
Yeah.
When you had to leave, there was a little video message from George Lucas though, but it was
thanks, George.
I kept waiting for him to be
yeah, he should have popped out.
Yeah. This was the panel I expected to see George Lucas at, and he was not there.
Especially because did you hear him say I'm glad you guys are all here? I'm like, here? Does that mean that he's here? But yeah.
The video was kind of like, you could tell he's like at a restaurant. There's like all kinds of background noise and stuff. So I'm like, he's going to come around the corner.
I was waiting for it too.
And nothing.
He didn't.
Nothing.
But
We were disappointed.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Was there, were you something to add? Were you going somewhere?
No, well, I mean, it was still nice though, but it was neat. I think the pre-show was more fun listening to people's stories about waiting, you know, when they first saw Phantom Menace and stuff, and then they had a bunch of people that had the shirts that they bought in the 90s whenever it came out, and they were wearing it, and that was really fun to see that too. But because a lot of people, that was their first Star Wars movie ever, so.
You had a similar story too, didn't you?
I went to see it by myself because no one would see it with me. So sadly, none of my friends Star Wars, and none of my older friends still don't Star Wars. And when I met my husband, he had never seen a Star Wars.
Oh man,
right,
Aaron.
Yeah. So
well, at least he's initiated now.
Totally. He's totally on board with everything that I do and say and drag him into. So, yes. But at the beginning of the panel, they brought out people who were originally part of designing and creating and the sound effects for Star Wars, which is pretty cool. There's 4 people on the panel whose names I cannot remember.
I remember John Knoll, Doug Chang.
Matthew Wood.
And I don't remember
Jean.
I don't remember the girl's name.
I'm so glad you guys are here.
Jean, shit.
John Knoll, like if you watch a lot of the Star Wars behind the scenes stuff, John Knoll's name pops up all the time. He's been with them since
30 plus years is what they said. Yeah.
He's a big guy at ILM that came up with a lot of stuff. He basically invented Photoshop.
Yeah.
Him and his brother. For movies like that, they didn't have a program that would do that kind of stuff on the computer, so they just made one.
Which was kind of neat, because I know we always people give Phantom Menace like shit for being so CG and everything, but they were talking about how a lot of it is really props and miniatures, and and then the fact that most of the CG stuff was like cutting edge. It was never
They also described how George Lucas's thought process is. It's just like, I want to do this, but I don't know how to do it, so figure it out. He's just doesn't care. Just do it.
Yeah, his ideas aren't limited by what can actually be done.
Which kind of is why it takes so long for us to get a Star Wars movie at that time.
And they mentioned, like, looking at the, 3,000 or whatever storyboards that they had.
That was neat to see.
And I know there's behind-the-scenes stuff of it with probably Phantom Menace, but there's a big board with all these storyboards on it. George has these highlighters that signify what's real in the frame and what's CG. And he was just going over frames and be like, the whole thing's CG, the whole thing's CG, the whole thing's CG.
How intimidating.
And he's blowing these people's minds because they're like, we've never done this before.
And they were talking about how, the one woman who did like skin and hair CG, and how Jurassic Park was kind of the catalyst into that. Mm-hmm. That was the first one, and that helped them with the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, because I even think that was one of the, like, George had wanted to do prequels, but it wasn't until he saw Jurassic Park and the special effects of making those dinosaurs look real that he's like, okay, I can do what I want now, and started spitballing ideas to do that kind of thing.
I can imagine.
We learned a lot more than we thought we did.
Yeah. No, perhaps we did like this. We just wanted more stars.
We were really tired of that panel, to be honest.
I know.
And we absorbed a lot.
Every time we were in line, I'm like, I'm just going to shut my eyes for just a minute. Yeah. And then we'd move. I'm like, damn it.
We're going to bed early tonight. And not getting up at 5:30.
Yes, that'll be a plus.
Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Second panel we went to was the Resistance Season 2 sneak peek, which I think was more in line with what I expected from a lot of these panels. They brought like the whole cast out.
Which was amazing.
Talking about the last season. And then they ended it with like, okay, tell us a little bit about Season 2. And they were playing very coy, like, we don't want to give anything away. We don't know what's going to happen. And it's just like, hey, do you want to watch the first episode? So we got to watch the first episode of Season 2.
And I have to say, it was more exciting than the first episode of Season 1.
Yeah.
It was more interesting. It was a little darker.
Well, that was, I think we talked about this before. I stuck through the whole first season of Resistance.
Bless you.
Yeah. It's a bit of a struggle, to be honest. Leslie hasn't, you watched?
I watched a few episodes.
I think you were like there when I watched one. I had one in the DVR I was trying to get through. You watched, Paula, you watched the pilot?
I watched the first episode.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've watched more than one. I just don't know how far I got into the season before I just got interested in something else and get distracted easily.
It to me anyway. It was a hard one to keep up with. There's something about like Rebels and Clone Wars. You get attached to those characters a lot quicker. I think Resistance. I'm still struggling to find someone that I like that I want to watch all the time. Kaz is hit or miss for me. Mm-hmm. I think he's getting better, but he's still not where I want him to be.
It might be a little easier now that you've seen the panel.
Well, that and the whole first season was working up to a time frame what I wanted to see, which was what happens when Force Awakens happens.
Right.
And that was where this season ended. So I'm anxious to see where season 2 goes and what events they see hand in hand with, the greater galaxy and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, these kids were thrilled. Like everything Resistance.
He was so.
I think I did hear oh my god.
He was so excited. Every single thing they did, like they showed that little when the Imperial droid was on the ship.
Yeah,
it was like, oh my god, oh.
That sounds like you. It's half the panels we went to.
That was when Carl Weathers came out. I was like, what?
Yeah, you can't recreate that.
Oh yeah, and every picture that came up for the Mandalorian, I was like, oh my god. Whatever, I was trying to make fun of him.
You did good.
I wasn't making fun of him, but he was very excited.
He was.
I just think
he's probably the most excited person that we've sat next to.
Yeah, and I think that I noticed him more because I was so wicked tired, So I'm just like, how are you that person?
He's probably only there for one day.
Oh, that's true. He came just for that panel.
He did just come for that panel. I believe it.
After the stuff we've seen, you guys any more likely to watch season 2? Did it win you over?
Definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Of course, at this point, you put anything Star Wars in front of me, and I just want to absorb it. So
true.
I wish I had digital copies of Rebels. I'd put on Rebels right now for us to watch, but I don't have that, sadly. We do anything? What do we do after Resistance?
I ran to get an autograph.
Yeah, that's right. You left because you had to get.
Yep.
You left during the Phantom Menace.
You left during Phantom
Menace. Oh, I did. Yeah.
And you came back right
as it started.
Yeah.
We were seated.
I was the last person in line to get my autograph.
Oh, that's
and I'm like,
okay.
This is awesome. I can, manipulate his time.
That's true. Yeah, that's a
and
good
then
idea.
5 more people lined up after me. So
you went and saw Brian
Herring, who is also known as BB-8, one of the 2 people who do BB-8. He did it for The Last Jedi, and he was so kind and thoughtful and hilarious, and as much of a Star Wars fan as we all are.
Well, you were the only one to get an autograph. We've done pictures, which pictures go quickly because it's just like, okay, you're in, smile, take a picture, you're out, get out. You don't have time to really interact with anybody. But autographs, depending on the person, will stop and talk to you.
And I feel like that's how they get you.
Yeah.
I mean, now I want more than anything to have Ashley sign my picture and have some time to talk with her.
Yeah.
Because they get you in for those pictures. You get 2.5 seconds with them and then they kick you out for the next person.
Yeah.
And he really took his time and just enjoyed himself with the fans and especially the people in front of me had a huge family, and he just, took a picture with the little girl in the same pose as one of the pictures on his table with BB-8.
Oh,
yeah, so it was just adorable. No, he didn't roll himself into a ball. There was a BB-8 there. Sorry.
The wine has been opened, folks. The wine has been opened.
Day 5.
I just pictured his body in a little ball with his head on the top.
But see, he was wearing everything orange and white, though. His shirt was orange and white, his watch was orange and white, his shoes were orange and white, but he had BB-8 all over his shoes.
That's the way to do it.
He was adorable, and I want to be his friend forever. So, yeah. But then I ran in just in enough time to watch Resistance, and I'm glad I did. Mm-hmm. Stepped over a whole bunch of people's backpacks to get to you guys. And then after that, we went back to the show floor for a minute.
Yeah, we ran around for any last minute stuff. There was a couple other things I wanted to grab. Last day of the show, it's always like, okay, what's on sale? What might we be able to get at last minute that's discounted?
I got my Vader head.
Yes, yeah, your
got
Lego.
My Lego Vader head.
Yeah.
Last minute, last person in line. Got it.
And they gave it to her for free.
It was free. That's not true. That one I actually had to pay for.
Anything else that we did on the? We found random pictures. I know pictures I was trying to get through, like the 3D looking Luke at the Lego booth. I hadn't got a picture with, so I had to go run over and get that. I feel like that was. Oh, and then like earlier on, we found Minion Darth Maul, which was fucking awesome. Yeah,
Brian's talking to me. All of a sudden, it's like Darth Minion.
You didn't even know what he said.
You're
didn't.
Like,
what did he just say?
What?
You thought I said what? Mini Darth Maul.
Yeah. I was like, yeah.
It was Minion Darth Maul. Yeah.
I saw it and I knew what his face would be like, and I turned around and it was exactly like I pictured. He's like a child on Christmas morning.
So you bet your ass I had to get a picture with that.
And then we went into the last panel, which was
closing ceremonies.
the
Yeah.
roundup.
Which, all things considered, like, I don't know if we really needed to be in there. Like, it had a fun little video look back, but...
A little montage of everything that really happened over the last 5 days.
It was kind of neat, though, to see, like, the different panels. Like, I didn't even think about going to the Phantom Menace music panel. Mm-hmm. Phantom Menace music panel.
We got you.
But the little clip from it with that, what was his name?
Dave Collins.
David Collins, yeah. That looked like it would have been an interesting panel. So it's kind of,
they mentioned the Let's Play with Sam Witwer and Dave Collins and Anthony Carboni, and I thought about that one, but I was like, granted, it's stuff that I watch on YouTube all the time, people playing video games, but I was like, really, on stage? How is that going to work? But apparently everyone had a great time at that panel.
That was kind of neat, though. Like Pam, it was neat to see what the different panels were. As much as I was,
I guess they really incorporated a lot of the celebrities that were there into the, the smaller panels, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
When I was walking back to you guys from getting my autograph, they had Ian McDermott on stage. I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing! Like they were still bringing celebrities out on that Star Wars show stage, which was really cool.
Which we didn't get to see a lot of because we were running around between the floor and panels and stuff. So we're probably gonna have to go back and watch some of the interviews that they did on the stage, stuff that we missed.
I feel like if the app was a little better, we could have prioritized our time a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like we didn't there was a lot of times where we didn't have access to panels and we had to wait in the queue, which took a lot of time.
If I knew that Lightspeed lane at the store was going to work, when we did that on Sunday...
It didn't work until Sunday.
Right.
That was the problem.
If I knew that they were going to get that fixed where we could do that on somewhere later, I wouldn't have waited the 3 hours in line whenever we were... What was that, Saturday or Friday or whatever day that was that we finally went in there?
It was Friday, because I went as soon as we left that first panel.
Yeah. It was a 3-hour wait for us. I mean, that's a lot of time. That's like a panel right there that we could have went to.
So we definitely missed out on stuff there. So, but all things considered, I feel like that was the only time where I felt like we wasted time.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I mean, we queued up for lines a lot in the morning, but nothing's open at that point. We were queuing up for panels and stuff first thing, and trying to get to the floor first thing, but I felt like that was the only time when it was just like, okay, this is a line in the middle of the day where I know we're missing stuff, but we have to get in there and try to get what we want.
We didn't have anything planned for that, like as far as like we had panels that we wanted to see, so that was the only day that we didn't, aside from Thursday whenever the store was down. Mm-hmm. So it was an 8-hour wait then. Yeah, which is insane.
I would not have waited.
I heard people. Did you hear people this morning saying they waited in that 8-hour line?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
I mean, once you're in, halfway through, you're invested, you're like, fuck, I have to stay.
I don't know if I could have. I don't know if I would have for 8 hours, though. I almost left the stuff that I had picked up whenever the registers went down. Because I was just like, this is crazy time. Yeah. But I'm glad I didn't, because they didn't have, when we went on Sunday, they didn't have a lot of the stuff that,
And that was the other thing I was afraid of, is like when we went to the store to try to get in while they still have stock of stuff. Yeah. And then...
Because the second time we went through, they were even less than when we first went through on Friday.
Oh, yeah. So. Big time. Yeah. They didn't have the flannels, which I'm glad, because I was going to buy one. So it saved me.
Don't worry. When the online store comes up, I'll make sure to share it with you.
I would rather have the...
Oh, Leslie, I know what to get you for Christmas now.
No, I want the Leia cape.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I want.
Good to know.
Make a list for next time. Make a list
for Christmas.
For Christmas? Hey, you want to give me that for Christmas? Cheers. I can't do the Emperor.
Thank God.
Half a glass of wine, guys. Half a glass of wine.
In a somewhat empty stomach.
So. That's next.
And 5 days of being sleepy.
Yeah, so the closing ceremonies panel gave us the next... They didn't even really say a date. They said 2020, and it's going to Anaheim. So now we're already debating whether or not we're going to do that. I don't know if we can suck it up in enough time to try to do that.
I feel like if there was something amazing, like we have the preview for Rise of Skywalker, which is amazing.
Yeah.
That was like
So,
the big draw for this one, for
if
sure.
there were rumors that Rian Johnson's trilogy was going to be premiered or something like that, then that would definitely be a draw.
I feel like they'll give us a lot more of, like, if they're doing Disney Plus shows for Star Wars, that'll be the avenue to announce a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. But we'll have already had, Mandalorian under our belt, so...
Well, 2020 would be
You're talking
40th anniversary of Empire. So they could have a lot of Empire Strikes Back related stuff for that
true.
show, too.
But not George Lucas, because he's busy.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, it is weird. Like, now that Disney has it, there's a lot less of his presence at the show. People talk to him, or not talk to him, but talk about him all the time. But
I'm obsessed with
it's like he's nowhere to be seen.
Now we have Dave Filoni.
Yes, which we will see everything Dave Filoni is involved in.
Absolutely.
Truth.
The recap where they went through and stuff.
Yes.
It was a
good
decent
one.
length.
Yeah.
And I definitely cried.
we had the
I've had
feels.
so much fun!
Well, 'cause
We're
it
so
was.
tired. Like, this is amazing. Let's do
Oh,
it again.
This experience changed my life.
And then they were chanting like 5 more days, and we're like, no.
That's just too
No,
much.
that's
Well, if you keep going for this many more days, first off, I'll be broke. Second off, like I miss my cat. Third off, you would just be tired of it.
Yeah. It's just, 5 days is good for
Enough.
me. Yeah, I'm good.
But at the same time, not enough.
I think because they didn't give us... I mean, they gave us just enough to keep us interested and teased. But, we want more. But there's some things we're done with. Panels. I'm done with panels.
Yeah, I still feel like we missed some stuff on the floor. Even having 5
Definitely.
days, that there was some stuff we missed or didn't get enough time checking out.
Right.
I'm also done with convention food.
Yeah.
I'm ready for some, like, tasty, some stuff that's not...
Yeah, because you never leave those buildings. You're just stuck with whatever's there.
Oh, we were excited. We got to see Colin before we left,
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Crappy cardboards.
Shout out again to Colin.
Yeah.
You better listen to this, Colin.
Also, Colin, we're going to take you up on that if it comes to London. We're
Yeah, we're
definitely
coming to
staying with you.
Crashing with
Yeah.
you, buddy.
Crashing at
And
your
I
place.
remember you said, I would love to have you. So
You
yes,
are welcome.
you will have all of us.
That's
Not
way to put that on record.
You can
way
welcome.
You can Brian first.
I didn't
Buy
sign-
us dinner first.
I didn't sign up for this.
Buy us dinner first.
All right, so I'm quickly losing you guys to the wine. Any final thoughts? Just the celebration as a whole. Cap this weekend off.
Amazing and friendly. Fun.
Yeah, again, everybody we meet is really,
so
really
friendly.
nice.
So friendly. The artists were amazing.
So good.
Oh, the cosplay was just spectacular. Even better than I expected. I have never been to a Comic-Con or a con like that, and it was just... the amount of work they put into those costumes and the fun and the funny ones that we saw.
And the
Even to the
dedication.
last day. Like, there
Oh,
were
yeah.
still some hilarious ones the last day. Yeah, it was just, I think, my favorite part.
And everybody that was in costume was so cool about getting pictures taken. Like, I think about how rushed we were to get into doing everything. Like, if they're big Star Wars fans, they probably wanted to do stuff too, but nobody ever was like,
Nope.
no, you can't have a picture. Or, no, I'm not going to stop for a second. I mean, granted, they dress up because they want that, but at the same time, like, that's a lot of people stopping you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm like emotionally and physically exhausted from it. It was just so cool. It was just, I love Star Wars and everything about it. You just want to absorb everything you can, and this was such a neat place to do that.
And I can't believe they're going to do it next year. Because, like, to pull something off like this every year is insane.
Yeah. That's like D23 is only every 2 years.
Yes.
So.
But again, to the people too. Like, it was so fun. Like, only one time did I hear anybody, like, complain or raise their voice.
It was at the book place.
It was just this today at the book place.
At the Gallery book when they ran out of books.
Yeah, and he's like, come on, are you serious? I would guarantee 500 whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, anger needs change. But But that was like the only time. But everybody we talked to was cool. People were cool with us just butting into their conversations, which happened the whole time.
We found a couple of Pittsburghers.
Yeah, absolutely, we did. Right in front of us for the one panel.
Oh, that was yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday.
That was funny.
I was wearing my Penguins fleece, and they turned around to ask if we could take a picture, and they're like, Pittsburgh! Like, it was awesome. It was just fun. It was so fun. It was fun to see all the people, like the celebrities and stuff, too. Warwick Davis. That was really cool to me, because, I was a big Willow fan, too.
Yeah. If we went again, would you do more photos, autographs, any of that stuff, or?
That probably depends on who's there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, depending on who's there. Like, I was ready to drop Buck for Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I think we were ready for Mark Hamill.
I should say my mom was ready to drop Buck, because she was going to pay for it for me, because that's the kind of mother I have. And,
Let me get those drips right there.
do the sound of the wine being poured.
Right by the microphone. That'll be real good.
We're just setting the mood.
Come have a drink with us.
Our next podcast, Star Wars with red wine.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of just want to keep recording and see where this conversation goes.
Let's get drunk and talk Star Wars.
It's the late night radio.
I can't do it. But I don't get sexy. I just get weird.
I know. That's why we... This will go off the rails very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, I again had a blast. I'm thrilled that you guys came for this.
Yay.
And I could be there for your first one.
It's amazing.
I've popped your celebration cherry.
It's true.
Well, yeah. Well, at some point, whether or not it's next year or not, we will have to try to do this again.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I will go 1,000 times. That was neat, too. They had people stand up who had been to, like, every celebration.
In North America.
Yeah.
Then they tried every celebration ever, and there was nobody stand up. And they're like, okay, quick, moving on.
Brian, what was your favorite part?
Oh, crap. Now I gotta think about all the stuff that we did.
This is a whole other podcast.
I know. I mean, I like getting my pictures, but again, you don't really get a chance to interact with anybody when you get the pictures. So autographs would be good, but I liked that the pictures were quick because it allowed us to do other things and make the panels we were trying to get to. I don't know. I mean, my favorite things is just walking the floor. I always feel like walking the floor, you find a lot more stuff to do. And even like all the costumes and cosplayers you were talking about, I feel like that's what I feel like I'm missing the most. Is like when we're in panels, we're not walking the floor, seeing all these people dressed up that we can get pictures with and talk to. But yeah, because I think we got some amazing pictures of stuff.
We did.
And people. Mm-hmm. And I spent way too much money at the store. I spent way too much money on art and prints that I don't know what I'm going to do with yet. But god damn it, they're fucking cool.
There's 2 art prints that I'm still like,
should have done it, Leslie.
I should have, but I think like in 2 weeks from now I'm gonna be like, I'm proud of you. like in the moment, I'm really regretting it, but man, I'm probably gonna be me and my credit card statement are gonna be happy.
Well, you can do like what I was telling Paula. Is like I was trying to make mental notes of the artists that I seen art from that I liked, so I could start following them on social media and visiting websites if I ever change my mind. If it's not Celebration exclusive stuff, maybe you can still order.
You took a picture of the guy that did the Leia thing. You bought that picture.
Yeah, the poster was from him.
So I'll have that name because that was. I mean, I still might pull the trigger on that one. Beautiful. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else. I would love to do this again. I don't know if we're middle of April now, so we bought tickets for this in June. So if we have to make a decision in like 2 months for the next one, I don't think I could do it that soon. I almost need a year to regroup. Yeah. I think.
Absolutely, and I also need a year to buy a lightsaber.
We have to work on our cosplay outfits. We're so inspired.
Yeah. I mean, we alluded to it last time, but for the record, Leslie did not buy a lightsaber while we were here.
Not because I didn't want a lightsaber, but because I want one that's so good. I don't want your stock lightsaber. I want to create my own.
I like that idea. You deserve it.
I think I do too. And it was because of the one that we saw when we were at the celebration stage that turned every color. Because I can't make a decision.
Should ask that guy where he got his from.
Oh, I'll find it.
She will.
I'll hunt it down like a bounty hunter, like the Mandalorian. I'm a Fandalorian.
All right, we're gonna wind it down because They're on their second glass. We have food waiting. We're all hungry. It's time to be done. All right. So again, thanks for listening. Again, thank you guys for coming and being a part of this every night recording.
My pleasure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we will talk to you next time.
Love you. Bye.
All right. So I hope you enjoy our recap from our celebration experience. Paul, I don't know while you're here, if you want to add anything else that we sort of covered and talked about, and now that you've had a couple days to recover.
Yeah, take Emergency, because people have germs and you will get sick.
We did talk about the con crud
Yeah.
probably going to hit us. I've actually come out of it okay. Paula, I guess, got hit with it.
Yeah, it got me bad. Being that it was my first one, I highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun. I know we talked a lot about the people. The people were just amazing. That was my favorite thing.
Yes.
So,
We're now
the only
Facebook official friends with Colin.
oh yeah, I've made a couple of Facebook friends too. So, really excited about that. And then, it's going to be in Anaheim next year. So we're talking about, it might be a little too soon to go back because that's a big decision you have to make like right away. But probably the following year. So like every 2 years is probably
Depending
good.
where it ends up. The last three have been in the U.S., so I feel like the next one's got to be overseas somewhere.
Berlin or
Europe.
some
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
There's a lot of
I was surprised,
Australians there.
honestly, that they were going to Anaheim next year. Like, I thought they were going to announce for Europe this time.
I know, yeah.
It might have a lot to do with the parks opening Galaxy's Edge.
That's true. It probably does.
Yeah, I think they're going to have a lot of tie-in stuff for Disney.
But I do have one question for you guys, because I was not, obviously, on that bit of the podcast you guys just listened to. So this may be something you guys talked about. I don't know. I'm asking anyways. You guys got to be... You were in the main room for the Phantom Menace, right?
No,
No.
the only main room we got into was for Mandalorian.
Okay, so for the Phantom Menace, did the overflow room also have the Weird Al sing-along right before the
Yes,
panel?
yes.
That's awesome.
They were doing that song before most of the panels in that room.
Like the American
Oh,
Pie.
really?
Yes.
Yeah. I figured they would just do it for Phantom Menace. Like, I was happy to see they did it, but if they were doing it for other
Well,
ones too?
it's the 20th anniversary of Phantom Menace. That was a big thing for the celebration. So
Okay.
they were doing it more often than not. Like one of the panels we saw, they had people up on stage trying to lip sync it as the song played, and then we were voting on who we thought did the best. Like, through applause and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there was a Kylo Ren up there on stage with his lightsaber, which he doubled as a guitar
Nice.
when he was singing. So he walked off that stage as a rock star.
So,
That's awesome.
we are now Facebook friends. And
Even with Kylo Ren?
Yes, yeah. We found each other. Because I got a picture of him in my Raylo pants. So I discovered him in one of my Raylo groups he just had posted. And I commented on it with the picture of me in my pants. He's like, oh my God, your Raylo pants. So we're Facebook friends now. He was actually on stage 2 years ago with the actor who was Darth Maul. His
Ray
name
Park.
escapes. Yes. He was up there 2 years
Awesome.
ago with him. So
Jeez.
like he said his goal now is every time there's a Star Wars celebration to get on stage. I'm like, not a bad goal to have.
Yeah, really.
Twice he's been on stage and both times as Kylo Ren. So it was amazing.
Nice. See, yeah, you are making all kinds of friends.
I am.
Mike, I think you were watching stuff. Andy, did you watch anything out of Celebration?
Very little.
Okay.
I was actually really pleased. Speaking as somebody who stayed with this at home, I can tell you they did such a fantastic job for people watching at home. Any panel you wanted to see, they had a full schedule on for what you were going to be able to watch and what you weren't. Some of the things I did miss out on, like I know there was a conversation with Alan Tudyk that happened as a panel that they did not put on the live stream. I was heartbroken
Well,
by
that's
that.
a shame
I wanted to
because
see
that was the best panel.
We did go to
Don't.
that one.
You're killing me.
No, did you watch
But
through the Star Wars app or the Star Wars Celebrations app?
YouTube Star Wars channel.
Okay, or that.
Yeah, the Star Wars show. You guys probably seen walking around. They had that giant stage in the middle of the
Yes.
floor.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were they didn't do anything Thursday, but Friday through Monday they were on the entire show. So start to finish, they were bringing on guests all day long. They were flipping over to the panels. And personally, my personal favorite was Doug Chang. Going over all the work he did for episode 1. That was just, I could watch that panel again and again. It's like the best behind the scenes compilation of stuff that you could imagine for Phantom Menace.
If you haven't watched some of the behind the scenes like featurettes for Phantom Menace, the DVD actually has a lot of good stuff on there too.
Mm-hmm. It does. I have watched that.
Yeah.
But he was a good presenter up there on stage of all the different things he had in mind when he was making the movie, like the different sets and seeing like all that stuff that he was talking about. It definitely, I think you can find it on YouTube still. Definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, we had a very good time. Like Paula said, I think we're debating whether or not we want to do the next one. Like after 5 days of it, you're just kind of drained and exhausted. But Paula, I don't know about you. By the time I got home, I was like, okay, I'm feel like I'm ready to do it again.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's next year, but maybe the year after.
Yeah, I think my wallet needs to recover more than anything else.
Yeah, agreed. I did get my credit card bill. It was not pretty.
Just the cost of flying back and forth alone with Anaheim, because that's not a drive like Chicago was.
Right.
Just those plane tickets. Like it's not even like Orlando. When we went down, that was not expensive plane tickets to go all the way out to Anaheim. That's going to cut into your budget big time.
I will say too, Mike, from when you and I went, I think they ironed out a lot of what we had issues with, like the long lines and organization and stuff. I think they did a lot better job this time.
That's good to hear, because I definitely want to get back. I was really put off by that whole experience in Orlando with how they handled. And we just waited in line the whole time.
If the app worked the way it's supposed to from day one, I think it would have been a lot smoother.
Agreed.
Like they want you to do so much through the app, and then the first day of the show, the app breaks, and they didn't get it working until like Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which I understand. Like, you can't stress test 100,000 people using your app all at once until the weekend of, and then that's when shit fails.
Unacceptable.
Yep.
So I get it.
Don't you know who I am?
Do you know how important these apps are?
Don't you know who I am?
Reference.
I can't figure out where to go if I don't have the app.
Yeah, it was. I mean, by Sunday it was because we could schedule a time to go to the store, which is a huge time saver.
So the first day it took us like 2.5 hours, 3 hours to get into the store.
Yeah,
but when we had the app, we were in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then we went back again just because we could finally get the app to tell us when to go there. And you just walk down, no line, they scan you in, and you're good to go.
I mean, that's how it should be. Because nobody wants to spend their time at that amazing show with all the amazing shit there is to see, standing in a line waiting to go buy stuff.
Yeah.
Because you want the stuff.
Yeah.
But when it's a 4-hour line, it's like I can go see cool shit or I can buy stuff, and I can't do both.
Well, yeah, well, the same thing with, the panels. Some of them were it was supposed to be after day one. You were supposed to be able to like fast pass some of the smaller panels. And that really didn't come up until later on either. Yeah. So, I mean, we spent a lot of time waiting in line, missing some of the really, cooler, smaller panels by, waiting in line for other panels. So, we could have been seeing a panel and then immediately going into another panel. So it was a lot of time management.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you try to do everything, but you definitely can't get to everything. Yeah. So I think, all things considered, I think we did pretty damn well.
Yeah, we saw a lot.
Which hopefully you heard about in the stuff that I just inserted not too long ago.
I am at, one of the few times I'm actually going to go back and listen to it myself.
Hey,
hear what you guys had to say. Because normally I'm on just about every episode, so I don't have a lot of reason to go back and hear myself say the same shit I said already. So...
Well, there you go. You got a first half of this episode for you. It's all for you, Mike.
Wonderful.
All right, so let's segue to the trailer. So,
Yay!
While we were at Celebration, that was one of the big draws, at least for me, to go to Celebration, was we figured they were going to debut a trailer for Episode 9, which we know nothing about. So we got into the overflow room whenever they debuted the trailer. We watched the panel, and I did... maybe I'll put it up on the Facebook page, too, and I could try to drop it on Twitter maybe if I think about it, but I did record whenever we watched it for the first time, so you can actually hear Paula and Leslie making their comments as we watched the trailer.
Making our random noises.
Yeah, there's a good couple. Oh my gods in there.
Any squeeze?
I think we squeed.
There's probably some squeeze.
One says, "I don't think we did."
Not
Brian's
squeers.
oh no, you kind of did.
I know I watched it a couple times. I know we watched it after the fact too, but I'm trying to pull it from memory, and I can't really remember what all was there. So yeah, that was our experience. Mike and Andy, you guys probably watched it online. What did you guys think? Anything you want to touch on for this trailer? Where should we start?
Andy, I'll throw it up to you, man.
I'm already super excited about it. I mean, I've been excited about this movie, ever since I saw The Last Jedi, but it's already like messing with my head, and it's only like the teaser trailer, so I can't imagine like the full trailer and then the actual movie. It's just my head explode.
I agree.
I'm hoping the content is so amazing that our heads explode.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm hoping that.
Just the little bit that they showed us, it was just like jaw-dropping awesomeness. I don't know how else to describe it.
I think they set out with the intent in this trailer to cause a stir.
The title of the damn movie is causing a stir in my head.
Right.
I'm like, how? How?
Right.
How?
The title of the movie, the laugh, all that stuff. They wanted to create this crazy, your head exploding moment where it's like, what? And that was, and they did that.
They did it exceedingly well. Then,
yeah.
I think I've gone on record saying that like one of my favorite things to do is to watch people react to things on YouTube. So watching people react to this trailer is like one of my favorite things to do right now, because when you get to the end of that trailer and you hear the laugh, you see people process it like, is it? Can it be? Oh my god, it is. And that reaction that they catch is so fucking genuine and fantastic. I just love watching it.
I had so many friends ask me if that was Mark Hamill laughing like the Joker that I just had to be like, no.
Do you even Star Wars, bro?
Yeah, that was kind of where I was at. Like, it was just like, no. Whatever's going through your mind right now, just no. That's not what that is. Just stop. Just don't. Just no. And I could understand where somebody completely disconnected who has seen each movie of the series maybe once, like goes to the theater, checks them out, never really cares or watches them again, isn't a fan, could think that, they're not a fan, but they know Mark Hamill was the Joker. Maybe they're a fan of, his role as the Joker. Maybe they like that and they heard that and they thought maybe that. But
I feel like, Mike, maybe I'm in a celebration bubble, but like right after the trailer came out, like Ian McDiarmid came out and he did it, like wrote it again.
The catch is that people that watch just the trailer on YouTube, they don't get that part.
Yeah.
Right.
And for us, we're like, oh, of course, it's the Emperor.
Well, and that's what I told all the people that brought up the Mark Hamill Joker thing, because I did watch this live on YouTube, so right. I got to see Ian McDiarmid come out.
If you watch the live stream, that part is in there.
Right. And I had to tell them, like, listen, no, Ian McDiarmid, and then you have to explain to these people, that's the guy who plays the Emperor. He came out on stage right after for the encore showing of the trailer and commanded them to do so. And then they're like, wait, really? Oh, I guess you are right. It's like, I wasn't having an argument. I was just explaining to you that it's not what you thought.
So you're wrong and we're right. So there's that.
That laugh, to me, is what that trailer is all about. And we could talk and theorize about that for days until we actually see what's really there.
Well, that's one of my talking points. Let's try to start there and try not to get way, way off topic with this. But are we left to assume the Emperor is alive? Is he dead? Is he a Force ghost? Is he a clone? I feel like any of those could be a possibility. Does anyone want to pick one way or the other?
I think there's a point in the trailer when they show a wreckage of sorts, and it's sort of like a half moon looking thing. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking that's the wreckage of one of the Death Stars, and the Emperor is in it.
That is absolutely the wreckage of the second Death Star.
Right. Yeah, that's what my guess is.
Which I feel like took me a little bit to process, because you're watching the trailer and then you're like, I want to say even in the video that I taped of us, you can hear Paula go, "Is that the Death Star?"
My God, it was totally the Death Star.
And the thought crosses your mind, but then you're like, wait a minute, that blew up over Endor. That looks nothing like Endor.
Mm-hmm.
Endor's a moon.
So you think that crashes on the planet?
Yes, Endor technically is not the name of that moon. That is the fourth moon of Endor.
Well, the
where
other
the
thought
Ewoks live. Endor is the actual planet that is a moon of.
I mean, the other thought I had too is debris goes everywhere in space, so it doesn't mean it necessarily fell to the planet that was right next to it. It could have flew anywhere else in the galaxy.
Yeah, just like Spaceballs.
That's fair.
It still would have been really cool if we can revisit some of those original planets, though.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're gonna have to retcon a little bit about Endor, if that's to be Endor. Because the Endor, as far as canon goes right now, Endor is a gas giant.
Okay.
So that they're not standing on Endor if Endor is a gas giant.
Right.
So they may have to retcon the idea that Endor is a gas giant, which I don't think anybody will care.
Yeah.
If they're like, no, it's not actually a gas giant, and they never even mention it, nobody will care.
Speaking of that wreckage too, I do want to make a point to say that JJ, between some of the shots in Force Awakens and that shot in particular in the trailer for Episode 9, he really, to me, makes you feel like this world is very lived in. The debris from all these battles that just sit there over the years. The shot from the Force Awakens trailer of the wrecked Star Destroyer and Rey coming across the sand dune in front of it. That shot sticks with me. I love the way that stuff looks.
Or when
Absolutely.
she first flies the Falcon through the wreckage and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that to me is fantastic. Jakku felt so much more alive, even though it was just as desolate as Tatooine.
Yes.
Because of that.
So, yeah, and it's something I don't think didn't feel like I got that sense from The Last Jedi. Rian Johnson repurposes an old, a Republic or Rebel base for the Battle of Crate, but nothing there makes me feel like that lived-in, battle-hardened setting like Jakku or this Death Star wreckage.
I feel like in that instance, he did explain that a little bit away by saying it was a hidden rebel base.
Right.
I believe is the term. Because in his defense, why is the name of the gambling planet escaping me right now? I don't know why. That should
Canto Bight.
Canto Bight, yes. Canto Bight is very much alive.
Yeah. So maybe he just spun it the other way.
And
that movie.
Of all the places we've seen in Star Wars, Crate might be the prettiest.
I can give you that. Yeah. It is a cool looking planet. All right. So before we get too off topic, I want to spin back to the Emperor.
Yes. Sorry.
Theories for the Emperor. Where do we think he is? Andy says alive in the Death Star.
So Siths can't be Force ghosts, correct?
I don't know if that's...
The Clone Wars would have us believe different.
Okay.
Oh, that's true, because we get, Darth Bane...
Yes,
in that,
Yoda experiences Darth Bane as a Sith ghost in the Clone Wars. So... technically, maybe. There's also holocrons that they have not explored in the movies, which also contain lots of knowledge, from Jedi and Sith past that could potentially have that laugh encased in it somehow.
So maybe that's where they're headed to with the Death Star. Maybe there's something on there that Rey needs to scavenge, like a holocron.
Like a MacGuffin. There's a MacGuffin in there.
Could be.
So we all know that he teased Darth Plagueis the Wise, and that they, found life after death for,
Yeah, if you look back
death.
to Revenge of the Sith,
Anakin. Yeah.
that conversation holds a new meaning, knowing that the Emperor is somehow involved in this movie.
So there's a couple things I'll say. One, I think Palpatine is very much alive. I think we are going to experience something of that respect. I think it's George Lucas himself said that this story has always been about Palpatine versus Skywalker. And I think it's a fitting end to have that resolved in some way, shape, or form by this movie. And I think he's alive in some form. Because Sith ghosts seem to be a bit more alive, perhaps, than a Force ghost. In other words, like, Yoda seemed to potentially be in some danger from Darth Bane's ghost.
Sure.
Whereas Force ghosts have never really shown... Well, I guess Yoda did in Last Jedi by conjuring the lightning.
Yes.
So that there is some ability to still interact with our world more than just dialogue.
I mean, I feel like every time, you know, a Jedi gets strike down or something like that, you know, the theme in my head has always been, we're going to come back even more powerful than you can imagine, because, you know, now they're Force ghosts, but we never really see examples of that, in my opinion. So maybe this movie will show, like, hey, Force ghosts are actually, like, more powerful and they're more interactive. So I don't know.
That would be an interesting turn for them to finally have something like that happen.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I think the most we've seen one do is it's definitely Yoda throwing the lightning out, but it's still not really that much. So
yeah, but I mean, he did knock Luke on the head with a staff, so you know there can be interaction there.
Yeah,
something can happen.
But at the same time, I don't think they can, like, fight the battles for them. There's got to be some limitation to how they can interact with the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, otherwise we would just have, like, however many Sith ghosts fighting however many Force ghosts for every battle. Like, they would just show up to every battle and fight each other.
Right.
And, you know, negate the living. So, I personally, I think he's alive, though. If I was going to venture a guess...
So you're saying it's the same Palpatine that gets thrown down the shaft in the second Death Star. That guy's up and walking around somewhere.
I don't know about walking.
Okay, well, all right. So breathing.
He is alive.
Okay.
If he is still at the Death Star, I'm guessing he's not doing very well.
Oh, that could be fair. Yeah.
So do you think he has any, like, role in, like, Snoke in, like, do you think there's any connection there?
That's hard to say. Potentially. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't see any currently. I don't see any plot threads that lead to it.
Okay.
And I don't see any that prevent it.
Okay.
Like, I don't see anything that says that couldn't be true, and I don't see anything that leads me to believe that it is.
Sorry, Paula, I'll confess to looking at my phone. I missed your question.
Oh, that's okay. I was just wondering if anyone thought that there might be a connection between Snoke and Emperor Palpatine.
One theory I saw on the internet was that Snoke could be a failed clone of Palpatine.
Ah.
And that's why he looks like shit.
Kind of like a Horcrux thing.
Yeah.
Harry Potter Horcrux thing, like.
Because I don't think the clone thing is too far-fetched. That's, like, they've been slowly incorporating expanded universe stuff that doesn't exist anymore into official Star Wars canon with the rebooted universe and whatnot. The clone thing was in the EU. There was a comic book storyline called Dark Empire that back when clones were a big thing in the Star Wars universe in the EU, it was said that the Emperor made a bunch of clones of himself, and when he got thrown down the shaft, he, like, pushed his consciousness and himself into a younger clone body of himself. So he's basically reborn.
Okay.
Part of that story is Luke trying to defeat him. Luke's whole plan was to try to train under the Emperor, like succumb to the dark side and try to beat it from within. Well, what happens is Luke turns and Leia has to save him. Which, if you want to repurpose that storyline for this movie, the Emperor's back, Kylo goes to the dark side to try to beat it from within, and Rey has to save him. I could see them spinning it that way.
I'm not sad.
Because the bigger takeaway from this is that...
Look at Mike's face.
Because this is another part that bugs me a little bit, is that through The Last Jedi, Kylo is now the big bad. If you bring the Emperor back, Kylo is no longer at the top of that food chain, which I think lends to the redemption story.
My dream scenario for this is either Palpatine being there in the form of a holocron or being there in the form of something so physically incapable that, like he's there, but he's not a threat. Like
I don't see how you can put this guy in a movie and not make him a threat.
He's like the granddaddy of all puppet masters.
Yeah.
So Kylo's not going to be the villain here. Like, it's Palpatine.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I
don't
for
want
it.
that to be true, but I feel like
totally
this
want
trailer
that
could
to be
imply
true.
that.
Let's make it true right now.
Because Paula,
if he's a
trailer,
threat, I hope Kylo kills him too.
Yes, yeah, that would make a better story for me. If Kylo takes another guy at the top of the food chain out so that he is the top of that food chain again, I'm okay with that.
But what if he kills him as redemption?
See, I'm still on the camp. I don't think Kylo can be redeemed. I would rather see him be the bad guy that needs to be taken out or stopped other than redeemed.
Brian, I thought we were friends.
You knew this going in. Don't act like this is a surprise.
I thought we were friends.
But I will say I would not be surprised if it spins your way, Paula, because I think that some of the stuff in the trailer, and again, having Palpatine back as the main villain, could lend itself to that story.
I would rather see Rey turn to the dark to join him, and I would be okay with that.
Not in that bright white outfit she's wearing.
Yeah, if you're looking for symbolism,
that's one
that pretty
outfit.
much tells you what side she's on. Andy, where do you fall on this? Anything?
I think that Kylo is redeemable.
Yeah! I meant that.
I'll say the same thing I always say. Defend.
Well, I mean, he wasn't always bad. Kind of like the most important person to him is...
When
Anakin.
was Kylo good? When do we have proof that Kylo was good?
He trained under Luke for a while.
Do we ever have proof that he had good intentions at any time during that time? Other than knowing that Luke was training him. Luke saw the dark in him and decided he might have to kill him.
Did we see anything in the original trilogy that would lend us to Vader being good?
I mean, we could point to the prequels, I feel like.
No, not the prequels. Just the original trilogy. Other than Obi-Wan just kind of, he was a Jedi, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I was going to say we did have that backstory already.
Okay.
Whereas Kylo's backstory is nothing more than he trained with Luke, and then Luke decided he was evil and had to die.
Well,
that's Kylo's backstory before we meet him.
To Andy's point, Obi-Wan in The New Hope vouches for what Anakin was before Vader.
Yeah, we get about a paragraph about it.
In The Force Awakens, Leia and Han vouch for Ben before he was Kylo Ren.
No one has ever really gone.
And they thought they saw, they detected that Kylo might be thinking about going to the dark side and sent him to train with Luke.
Right, so he was evil then as a child?
No.
Because they sensed he was going dark. They sent him to Luke. Luke couldn't fix him. And then even if they say, like, in A Force Awakens that they're still good in him, I'm pretty sure... I can't remember if it's in the beginning of The Last Jedi or the end of Force Awakens at some point. I think it's during The Last Jedi at some point. She says that my son is gone. She sees no light left in him.
But he could have killed her.
He let her die, and then she rescued herself.
Well, she did, but he could have
shot down the ships that.
But he didn't. He took his hand off the trigger. And he says in The Force Awakens he is going to finish what his grandfather started, which is taking out the Emperor. I think he knows the Emperor's alive.
Are we positive that she pulled herself into the ship?
I think that
Leia?
Mary Poppins
Last
moment
Jedi?
is pretty clear.
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't Kylo from afar.
Yeah, no, that was to signify Leia
Oh, I
finally
like
using
that.
the Force.
Yes, let's call that. Yeah, maybe he helps her along. Here's a push, Mom. I like it. Yeah.
He has or has attempted to kill all of the original 3 main characters.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. We can have this argument all day long.
I feel like we're
going to
go in circles with this, yes.
I don't want to go in... Yeah.
We're going to be arguing this until the movie comes out.
Yeah, I think Kylo is just as redeemable as Anakin is.
Okay. I mean, there is... It's always said...
The parallels are there.
Yeah, and it's always said that the Star Wars movies, especially the trilogies, like if you look at each trilogy, they're like... George has always described this way, where they're like poems, and they sort of repeat themselves. There's you can see decisions that were made for Anakin that Luke makes the same decision, like is put in the same scenarios, but Luke makes a different decision, which leads to a different path. And we're getting to the point where in this trilogy, you can see the same decisions that Kylo's, like, are the same position that Kylo's making, and making other decisions that could lead to a path. We just don't know where it's going to end yet.
Right. So
yes.
Yeah, the only way that he's going to be redeemed is the same circumstance that, Anakin was redeemed, right? There had to have been one moment where he loved something more than his lust for greed and power, which was...
I feel like they gave us that chance.
No, we're not even in the third movie yet.
No, I'm with Mike on this one.
They gave us that chance in The Last Jedi. If it was going to happen, it had to happen there, and I would have been fine with it happening there. And them saying, okay, that's your Reylo moment. They're teaming up. They're going to do this now. And have that be his redemption at that moment. And then have them introduce some much more sinister villain or a rebirthed or not actually dead version of Snoke at the end of the film in some way. They had that chance.
They had the
they
chance
already played that moment where they got the crowd to say, oh, it's going to happen. Because he killed them and they fought together. And then what does he do immediately afterwards? He says, join me or die, essentially.
Well,
how doesn't that parallel Empire Strikes Back? They had that moment in Empire Strikes Back.
No, Vader never makes a turn to kill his own master in Empire Strikes Back.
But there's that moment that where you think he's going to be
Vader's
going
to turn to the good.
What's
in
the
Empire?
I feel like it mimics the moment in Empire when Vader asks Luke to join him.
Right.
Yes. But Vader never makes a turn in Empire toward the good.
I believe he's asking Luke to join him so that he can vanquish the Emperor.
In Empire, correct, yes.
Yes.
But at the point in Last Jedi, Kylo's asking Rey to join him, and he just killed the Emperor. So there's no one else to... He wants... he makes that turn right at the end for the throne. He goes exactly for the throne, which is a different choice than... I'm with... Going back to what Mike said, I'm with Mike. If the Reylo thing was going to happen and Ben was redeemable, that's the chance that he goes with Rey to become a good guy.
Yeah, but he also had, Snoke in his head for how long? It's probably a little bit challenging to kind of get that mentality out. But... Or maybe he has a different plan and he didn't really explain it fully or eloquently. He has, he doesn't really do that very well.
That's the thing where if they introduce the Emperor now, you could look back at Force Awakens and Last Jedi and see his decisions in a different light. If this is the ultimate goal is to take out the Emperor, then those decisions make sense sort of in that light. But if it's just Kylo trying to go for power and to take over the galaxy and do it the way he wants to, Emperor aside, then I think he's straight up bad guy.
I think there's going to be a redemption at the end. I really do.
And I'll throw one more little thing here. The Sith have one goal. As a Sith, he says to throw the Sith away because he's deceiving her. Let the Sith die alone, or because he's just so unpracticed and unlearned that he doesn't know what he did. He became a true Sith by killing Snoke and recruiting Rey. That's what Sith do. Every Sith is brought up, taught, trained, and learned to kill their master someday. That is the path of the Sith. To kill their own masters.
Which, to the point of Mike, Vader never got a chance to do. So he never made that full turn. I mean, he was still considered a Sith Lord, I guess, but he never made that full path upwards in the Sith.
There's always two. There is the Sith Lord and there is the Darth. There's always two Darths in like generally in the old canon. I don't know what they call that now. Legends is what it's called. In the old canon, the way they explained this was that taking up the mantle of Darth was a challenge to all other dark side users. And in doing so, you were proclaiming yourself to be at the top.
But he doesn't have that. He doesn't have an apprentice.
He tried,
but
and
he
got rejected.
He failed.
Right, which is where Sidious enters, perhaps, to fulfill that there is only two. And maybe we find out that he is a Darth in this movie. He takes up the mantle because Sidious tells him about the history of the Sith.
I don't think anyone's truly gone. I think I heard that somewhere. So I'm going to stick with that.
And who are they talking about? I think I sent Brian a picture where they might be talking about Porkins.
You did send me that picture, yes.
That's a fact. They could be talking about Luke, Han, Leia.
Or Kylo. Or Ben
Solo. So I don't know if this isn't gonna steer us away from the Ben Kylo Reylo stuff, but I know there's been conversations beginning of the trailer when we open with Rey getting chased down by a TIE fighter. Are we on the same page that is Kylo Ren's TIE silencer coming at her?
So I was looking at a couple of things. It is definitely a different ship than the one from The Last Jedi. Somebody did a comparison, and it is different, but time has passed, so obviously he's the Emperor now. He probably got an upgrade.
There's more red in the design.
Yeah, but obviously it's a ship he would definitely fly. And
do we see him leaving Snoke's ship in the silencer, or does it blow up with that ship in Last Jedi?
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we see him leaving the ship. Because they come down to the planet in a shuttle.
So you guys are thinking that's Kylo chasing her down?
Yes. So the next question is he trying to kill her? Or the other thing I've seen, and I think Paula suggested this too when we were out there, are they training?
This is me being me. I'm going to say everybody's getting debated. It's not Kylo. And they're putting it there to make you think it is. It's intentionally misleading you. If it was, I don't think they'd put it in the trailer. Star Wars is typically pretty good about keeping things like that out of trailers and misleading you.
So you think it's not Kylo, but it is someone coming to kill Rey? Or they're training and it's not Kylo.
It could be training and not Kylo. Could be Poe or Finn. Could be Poe and not Finn. It could be Poe flying it so that she can train. We don't know.
I don't know why wouldn't if it was Poe, just spitballing devil's advocate stuff. If it was Poe, why would he not fly in as an X-wing? Why use the TIE fighter?
Because he doesn't want to have his X-wing destroyed, and she can if she hurts the X-wing, so what?
And where did they get it?
The TIE. If it was
Also, we saw at Celebrations a picture that wasn't in the trailer of Kylo Ren in a desert kind of landscape. So I know that wasn't something that they showed, and the pictures are out there. Obviously, you can pull up Celebrations and see them. So I think that it's them training together, because I know there was somebody did a spoof where it was somebody shot Rey out of the sand, and it's that could have happened.
It's the TIE fighters flying in to get her. Just a laser blast goes off, it blows up, she disappears, then it says written directed by George Lucas.
So, if it was really somebody attacking her, they could have just, why aren't they shooting at her? Which is where, the theory came from, they're training together. And, from The Last Jedi, I remember, them trying to fool us with when Rey say, I'm trying to find my place in all this, and all of a sudden you see Kylo's hand come out. It really did kind of happen that way. It was just a roundabout way. So that's why I'm thinking the shot where they show him kind of in the the TIE silencer or whatever it is, like pushing forward or pulling back or something like that. They don't show his face, but they kind of show like his cape, his hands. I've been looking at it very closely.
I was gonna say it's just his hands. I don't know if I remember seeing the cape.
Yeah, you can kind of see like part of his chest in the cape. Not that I'm looking that hard, Brian, whatever. But yeah, like that scene cuts in the middle of the, you know, the two scenes with the TIE silencer and then her jumping, and then, you know, we were all like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, thinking that it was an attack sequence, but kind of is, but maybe it's like a training attack sequence. So I think that kind of ties in with that picture that I saw of him on that like deserty landscape. So I'm going with training, but you know, again,
I will say the more I watch the trailer, I'm leaning towards training sequence. Whether that's Kylo or not, I'm leaning towards that sequence being a training thing.
Andy?
Yeah. Yep.
The way I saw it was she was looking for a way to get off whatever desert planet she was on and saw that coming and hitched a ride.
So she's just hitchhiking her way off the planet.
Yeah.
So she's not trying to steal that TIE fighter.
Oh, you know,
she's actually just hopping on the back of it and riding.
May well steal it, but, you know, for the time being, she was jumping on it.
Cut that guy straight out of there. That's a real Jedi thing to do.
It's date night. He's coming to pick up his bae.
Didn't you know, Brian? We already had the movie The Last Jedi. There are none.
Point taken. Yeah, I think I'd seen that meme, Paula, where it's like, I'll be around to pick you up in 5 minutes? No, 5 seconds.
5 seconds, yeah.
Mike, are you chomping at the bit to add into this, or no? Are you good?
I mean, I don't trust a lot of what I see in these trailers because I feel like they like I said, to mislead you.
Well, to Paula's point, the way the Last Jedi trailer was cut, they do use 2 separate scenes, and the line of dialogue that Rey uses is directed to Luke, not Kylo, but the intention in that trailer plays out in the movie.
So are they thinking that we're going to think something differently, but we're actually thinking on the right path?
They think we know, but, you know, it's
and this is that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is it's very difficult to say what's going on there. I think the training thing makes sense as to what's going on specifically. I think we'll find out when the movie comes out. And who knows, maybe you get a Reylo period in this movie and things turn sour.
See, I don't think, with this being a wrap-up for the saga and this trilogy and everything, I don't see it ending on a downer. Like, we're not going to have an Empire Strikes Back type ending.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, like, maybe in the first third or quarter, say, of the movie, you know, something happens, they join forces, and then turns out he's just trying to deceive her all along and gain an apprentice. He's trying again.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm just thinking, I don't know how much they'd copy that storyline, because I feel like that was played out pretty good in Last Jedi. I don't know if they'd hit those same story beats in this one, too.
Good point. Probably not. I'm just trying to have fun with Paul on that.
What? Hope is like the sun. You only believe in it when you see it. You'll never make it through the night.
That was another saying I've heard. There's like 4 or 5 sayings you guys had the whole weekend. All right, 2 more talking points for me. Real quick, anyone else that... Paulo, you probably haven't, but Mike or Andy, have you guys played Uncharted 3?
Yes.
All the time?
No.
All right, how much does Oscar Isaac look like Nathan Drake from Uncharted 3? In his costume design?
Fair.
Immediately when he showed up on screen like that in the trailer, I wanted to turn to either Paula or Leslie and say, Nathan Drake, but they don't know that reference, so I couldn't do it.
I did see that picture, though.
When they're on
when he's in the
desert planet that is, yeah, like him and Finn in that shot.
Yeah, his scarf, the long sleeve shirt that he's got on, and everything. Yeah, that's
I only
Nathan
played
Drake.
Uncharted 2, so
I played the first 3. I haven't played 4 yet.
Yeah, I still have to get around to 4 too, but that's beside the point. But yeah, just seeing that, I'm like, you know what, Oscar Isaac for Nathan Drake, I'm on board for that. Let's do it.
Yeah, if we're not getting Nathan Fillion, sure.
I know, yeah. And the last point I sort of want to make is the title of the movie. What thoughts do we have on the Rise of Skywalker?
This could be a very dangerous topic to talk about.
Well, do you want to start us off? What do you got,
I
Paula?
don't think I can. Because Mike and I were discussing things a little earlier.
Well, now you're throwing spoilery information about.
All
right, so you guys have a possible spoiler thing that we're not going to touch on.
Right. So the things that I had written down in my notes, I was actually kind of spot on with. So let me see if I have anything that's not spoilery. No.
All right, so we'll have to revisit if you guys were
Yeah.
right somewhere down the line.
Well, here's what I can say. It could mean a lot of things. So the spoilers that we have are actually canon, and they're from things that are already out there and have been for over a year now each. So they are spoilers, they are canon, but that doesn't mean they're going to be tied in to the meaning for the movie, because they come from the Clone Wars and from the Thrawn Alliance's book, and the movies have never really tied that strongly into such things, especially with something as significant as this potentially would be. And I'm not going to spoil what any of it is. I can't even say that. I'm just not going to say it.
Yeah.
All right,
I
well,
was
told us
thinking
where to
about,
find
like-
the information if someone wants to try to piece it together.
Yeah, but what I was going to get to is that it could mean many things. Nothing says that they're going to attach the title Rise of Skywalker to what we believe we already know about canon. Because that canon, like I said, is something they don't generally do that with. So other things it could mean, I can comment on that without getting into spoilers. The Rise of Skywalker could refer to a specific Skywalker.
I was thinking Anakin.
Right. You could have Anakin, you could have Luke, you could have Ben, you could have, Shmi somehow, maybe.
I like that you said Ben.
Shmi's me.
You could. We don't know. It could be the rise of all of them. It could mean that we're going to learn the rise of Anakin in terms of how and why Palpatine created him.
He's the chosen one.
Chosen by Palpatine, perhaps, and created to rise by Palpatine. So it could mean something along those lines. There's so many possibilities. So,
I want to. I think when I first saw the trailer and the title is revealed, for whatever reason in my mind, I read it as like Rise of a Skywalker, and I'm like, oh shit, they're retconning it, and they're gonna make Rey a Skywalker. And then I read it again. I was like, no, that's not what that... No, they're not specifically calling out a specific Skywalker. It's just... I feel like the more I'm looking at it, it's like metaphorical. It's not talking about a specific person. I think it's like an idea.
It's metaphorical.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like, I don't know if it's the involvement of, like, all the Skywalker lineage, like Luke, Anakin, whoever else they want to incorporate in that, helping Rey on this journey, and then, like, almost adopting her into the Skywalker family. Something along those lines. I don't know.
And to be honest, when they announced like Hayden Christensen, he was like the last one to... Wasn't he like the next to the last one or the last one to be announced? I was like, I'm kind of surprised. Like, he was the biggest name there. Like,
yeah, he's been involved in the last two celebrations, which whether or not you could either read it as he's broke and needs some income, or that he is going to have a bigger presence in this franchise going forward.
He was just looking forward to signing jars of kinetic sand.
Yeah, that could happen too.
Or people dressed up as sand, which I did see. Yeah.
So I have a few tweets from Kyle Newman, who directed Fanboys, for anyone that watched Fanboys.
I own that. Good movie.
I caught this on Twitter after the trailer came out, and it's sort of goes with that metaphorical Skywalker thing, but he sort of explains it better than I am, so I'm just going to read his tweets. So I think this is maybe in a response to stuff he was getting tweeted at that day, but he starts with, "Give up the Rey is a gray Jedi chatter. It's not happening. Star Wars is about hope. That's in its DNA.
Correct.
The primary building block of Lucas's myth. That's where this is going. Rey is Skywalker by choice, not lineage. Like Anakin and Luke, she will choose love, a concept foreign to Jedi and Sith. It is love, true love, and familial love that dooms, defines, empowers, unlocks, redeems Anakin and Luke. Rey will partake in that lineage, not by bloodline, but understanding that set Skywalker apart. That's the twist in all this, surely. It empowers and it enriches. It forces us, via Rey's journey, to truly understand what George Lucas was saying at the end of Return of the Jedi. Rey will assume the mantle a la I am Spartacus, spiritually becoming a Skywalker, bringing closure and justice to their legacy by honoring it. It's not her lineage, though." So that's Kyle Newman's theory, which I can get behind.
Okay. On that note, if that's what's already being discussed, I may declare what we have as not spoilery. In so much that he's maybe not directly saying it, but he is brushing right up against it. And I think that he's deriving that from the knowledge that we have from Rebel and Thrawn alliances.
All right, before we go any further, at this point I kind of want to hear it, but I'll let Andy make the call. Andy, do you want to hear what they're scratching around, or no?
How bad is it going to ruin Rebels for me?
It's not going to ruin Rebels at all. It's a very minute point that Thrawn talks about something on Rebels, but it doesn't really affect the plot of Rebels.
Do it, Andy. Do it. Let's hear what we have to say.
Are you guys ready for my spoiler pitch?
Do it.
All right, let's go.
Do it.
Okay. So, this is, again, something that is talked about in Season 4 for Rebels, and that Thrawn directly describes and kind of canonizes in Thrawn Alliances, that all Jedi are Skywalkers. So this is derived from literal definition. The first people on Lothal saw people coming down from the sky. They called them Skywalkers. They were Jedi. And I think that's where they're giving the origin of the term. And it's perhaps where Palpatine drew his inspiration, perhaps, in what he did. But in general, it's just kind of canonizing that Skywalker is not a name. It is a state of being, just like Jedi. But it just so happens that all Jedi at one time were referred to as Skywalkers.
And with, Luke being technically the last Jedi, like we know he was the last Jedi, they can kind of take up that new mantle of maybe calling all of people who have that Force ability Skywalkers.
See, and I've heard that part of it, where they we're going to call them Skywalkers, and I don't necessarily agree with that. In my own personal theory on it.
You think they're going to be Jedi?
Yes, I think even Luke says it in The Last Jedi. He says, "I will not be the last Jedi." He's referring to Rey. Rey is currently the last Jedi, I guess you could say. But that doesn't mean she will be. But I think they're going to use it in some form of explanation about Anakin's creation.
Yeah, I'd like to actually see that come full circle.
And have that be a part of why Palpatine is there, is that we're discussing the origin of the Skywalker lineage and why they're called Skywalkers, why these people are the chosen ones, why all this happened.
Okay. So deep mythological stuff.
Yes, I think we're going to get deep into lore for a portion of this movie where we discuss what it really means to be a Skywalker.
So you're right. Yeah, that could actually just flip everything we know of this saga on its head.
Yes. Like if Anakin maybe wasn't even the first Skywalker to be a Jedi. Maybe that name and lineage goes back further under different names to hide the lineage.
Well, I mean, Shmi was obviously a Skywalker.
Shmi was his mother.
Yes, but did they call her Shmi Skywalker?
I don't know if she's ever referred to as Shmi Skywalker by anybody.
She's credited as that name.
She's credited as that name, and Anakin asks for her by the name Shmi Skywalker. But there's nothing we have that says she wasn't Force sensitive. There's nothing we have that says, there's a lot there.
She may have been Force sensitive. She may have been the one giving Anakin the dreams about her being captured.
There's that.
I mean, Leia really didn't embrace her Force sensitive side very much.
Right. There's that end of it. You have a lot of.
And she probably didn't even know she was doing it, but
Well, yeah, I was going to say there's that aspect. She may not have known her own lineage. We don't know anything about Shmi other than that she was miraculously impregnated with Anakin. We don't have a lot of her story before that. Or any. Not a lot of. We have none of her story before that. So, what happened to her? Who were her parents? What was her lineage? We don't know. But the fact that the name Skywalker is tied to myth about Jedi, thousands and thousands of years back on Lothal, I think there's something there. I think
do you think that they went back to Tatooine? Like all those dusty, sandy scenes. Do you think that they...
It could be Tatooine, could be Jakku. Yeah. I don't think we have enough evidence to say one way or another. If it's Tatooine, it's definitely not near Mos Eisley.
Yeah, because Tatooine's just flat with sand. There's no mountains.
Around Mos Eisley. There isn't. They could be on the opposite side of the planet.
Oh, I guess.
But in the area of... that we've seen in A New Hope, it's flat.
Because in one of the scenes, there's things coming out of the sand, and it looks like moisture farming, but I can't tell because it's so quick.
I mean, I don't think the moisture farming is specific to Tatooine. I feel like any desert planet would have to do something like that.
Yeah, I think that's something that happens quite often.
But if I'm right, what do I get?
There's nothing that says it's not moisture farming. I mean, like I said...
What's my prize?
It could be a planet we've never even heard of before. They could be on Jeddah, Tatooine, Jakku, any one of them. And we just don't know. Are they following Rey's parentage? Well, then they're on Jakku. Are they following the Jedi in some way? Then they're on Jeddah. Are they following the Skywalkers? They're on Tatooine. It could go so many ways as to what's happening with the plot at that point in the movie.
So I kind of want to spin back to the Skywalker thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
If Skywalker is synonymous with Jedi, I don't know why they wouldn't just refer to this as the Rise of the Jedi or something like that. I don't know why it would have to be Skywalker.
Because they are signifying that at one time all Jedi were called Skywalkers. They I think they want to signify that in some way. Because before they were called Jedi...
less and less now, the more and more talking about it.
What's that?
I said I think I like the title less and less the more we're talking about it this way.
Well,
I think we're going to need 3 generations of Skywalker to take out the Emperor. There you go. I called it.
That could be. But I was just simply going to say that like they were called Skywalkers before they were called Jedi.
Right, but I don't know. I feel like that's adding more meaning to the last name that there wasn't any before, and I don't know if I like that, if that's the change they go. Then it makes you feel like the lineage of Skywalker is everybody, like the whole lineage should be special, not just these couple people.
No, but I think there is a specific lineage that kept the actual name that they're going to explore. Like there was Skywalkers. They could introduce something about like the story of how like Darth Bane eliminated almost all of the Jedi at one time, but maybe perhaps the most powerful among them survived and took up the actual name Skywalker in honor of previous Jedi. Yeah, I'm just spitballing. It's like a possible story that they could play off of it, something crazy like that. But I'm just that's
it's like
canon.
I might have made this comment when we were out at Celebration, but like I don't know what I expected from this trailer. But after watching the trailer, I'm 10 times more confused than what I thought I would be before the trailer.
You totally mentioned that, yeah.
So
still feeling that way?
Yeah, I like that feeling because I'd rather go into this not knowing what the fuck I'm about to see and just watch the movie.
I agree, and I think we're all in that place.
All the speculation is just confusing me even more and spitballing into things that I don't know if I want to see. But so yeah, I actually hope I'm still this confused when we see the movie because I want this movie to set me straight.
Yeah, I honestly don't plan on watching any more trailers. I want to avoid.
How many trailers were there for The Last Jedi? Do we know? Were there 3?
They've already announced, I think, 2 or 3 more coming just over the next couple months for this.
Okay.
Typically, movies have 3. There's usually a solid 3.
I think they said it's Comic-Con. They're releasing a longer version of the trailer we just saw.
Because I feel like you usually get, a teaser and 2 full trailers.
So they're calling this one a teaser,
movies.
Correct?
Yes.
It's a pretty long teaser.
Yeah,
I'll give them
that. A little over 2 minutes.
Well, it gives no plot points. Like there's no you don't know what the story is, which normally comes with a full trailer. You start getting plot points and how the story could progress.
Which is why I'm
teaser
going to avoid the rest.
Typically just shots of things, which all this trailer is just different shots all shoved together.
Getting people like us to speculate endlessly.
Well, yeah, we talked fucking 3 hours or whatever on one of those Force Awakens trailers. All right, so I do want to start winding us down because I think we've talked as much as we need to. Andy, anything else you want to add?
Just super pumped.
Sounds about right. For anyone listening that has watched Rebels, we talked a little bit about Rebels too. We didn't dive into it because I'm going to single him out. Andy is not caught up, but there is a specific couple episodes in season 4 that, if you've watched that season, you know where I'm going with this. That could give us some inkling as to how the Emperor is involved in this movie. Which is another way we could speculate somewhere down the line. I know I have to rewatch that stuff and try looking at it through that lens. Mike, I think, did you already go through it again?
Today. I watched the full season. It's only 15 episodes, 20 minutes each, so it's not really that long to watch it when you don't have a job.
So the few episodes that I'm referring to, did it look any different to you, knowing that Palpatine might be involved in 9, or no? Could it feed that theory, or are you still just there's not enough concrete stuff in there?
I don't want to say anything because Andy hasn't seen it. Because I feel like if I start to, I'm just going to be like, I mean, I can give you a perhaps.
Okay.
I
at least want to acknowledge, just so that people don't think like, well, what about this theory? Like we know that it could be a thing. We don't want to dive into it and go down that rabbit hole at this second. So
but you see, Andy, it could be really, really, really important, so you should catch up.
Yeah, not to
get
tease
to getting, Andy. Get to getting.
Not to tease it too bad, Andy, but like concepts of Star Wars that get turned on their heads. There's something that happens in Rebels that show is canon. That is a Star Wars concept that has never been done before.
There's actually a couple that are huge.
Well, true.
And it was pretty cool.
So it opens the gate to a lot of stuff, a lot of storytelling opportunities that I don't know if they're going to capitalize for episode 9 or not. But if it's the only time we see stuff like that, it seems like a waste.
And in the very final
like
episode,
there's a lot of opportunity there.
You get what may be my single favorite image in all of Star Wars. Single favorite screen moment. Where you're just like, oh, that's fucking badass. So
yeah, that last episode was amazing.
I feel like and Mike, maybe you've got this way too from watching all the streams and stuff, but I know Paula, Leslie, and I walked out of Celebration like, I need to absorb all Star Wars content that I can.
Again?
Yeah.
Yes.
The whole
That's
year.
why, like,
all year long.
I need to find somebody that has the Clone Wars as a physical copy so I can borrow it.
Oh.
Because they took it off Netflix for God knows what fucking reason. So I wanted to rewatch all of that, and then I can't, and I'm like...
stockpiling other Disney Plus stuff.
I know. It better be there day one, because I'm going to be, like, jonesing to watch the Clone Wars like I am right now, probably still then. Because I'm not buying... Like, knowing that service is coming and that I'll be subscribing, I'm not going and buying, like, 6 seasons at, like, $20 or $30
the new season of
each.
Clone Wars hits when I think Disney Plus starts, or shortly after that, so they're going to put all the previous seasons on there, too.
I hope so.
Damn well better.
Which... Okay, so I know we talked about this in our recap videos, but I just want to point this out too. Speaking of Clone Wars, did they have a stream for Clone Wars, Mike,
yes.
when you were watching?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you watched that?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
The one takeaway for me for that, and Andy, maybe this will be your tease for the next season of Clone Wars, but they're teasing an impending battle for Mandalore.
Yes.
That's going to be a big part of
the
this
siege
season.
of Mandalore.
And Darth Maul plays a part in that he's still on the board at this part of the Clone Wars.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
And so they're teasing an epic battle with him involved, and so they're trying to figure out how to choreograph this fight sequence in the show.
This is so awesome.
So Filoni was on stage and says, well, we didn't really know how to animate it. We weren't sure how to choreograph it. So what we did is we called up Ray Park, we put him in a mocap suit, put him on a stage, and made him do the fight. So when you see Darth Maul have this epic battle in the newest season of Clone Wars, it's going to be Ray Park doing the fight, which is going to be fucking cool.
That is cool.
They gave you like 5 frames of him fighting Ahsoka in that trailer, and it was just like... and
it seems so fluid compared to other Clone Wars fights that you've seen before.
Yeah, honestly, I can't talk about that either. God damn it, Andy, you need to watch Rebels. The moment where we see Maul fight again in Rebels looked very clunky in Season 3 compared to that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. So, I know you finished Clone Wars, right, Andy?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, are you planning on Disney Plus? Because I would highly recommend it with all the shit that it's getting.
Most likely from everything I've seen.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll all have to reconvene once Clone Wars comes out and we get a chance to binge it.
Yeah, 12
Now,
episodes is going to be
like
immediately.
Are they going to drop seasons, or are they going to be like, stay tuned until next Thursday?
We don't know. I would assume it's going to be the whole season on day one.
Okay.
Well, when they talked about Mandalorian, I think I've heard Mandalorian is going to be weekly. So I don't know if that's the model for all shows or just Mandalorian.
Okay.
So we'll have to. We're still at the wait.
I would be fine with that in some way, because it would be like giving me something to look forward to each week, and something like, okay, I know on Tuesday I'm going to watch this, or whatever day it is,
But they also need to give us something to binge too. So.
Well, that's what the back catalog's for.
Yeah, and if you want to binge, you can always just wait until the season's over, and then
fresh binge.
But
some juicy fresh right off the tree.
I mean, honestly, I'm not shilling for Disney here, but $70 for a year equates to like $5.83 a month for the amount of content they're putting out there.
Money.
I think Disney and a lot of other places projected that it's going to take them until 2024 before they turn their first profit, and that they're averaging like a $20 to $30 billion investment per year on this product that they're putting out there. So for $5.83 a month, you're getting access to $20 to $30 billion over that course of years.
I'm not going to go through the list, but the first day we were out there, that Thursday, Disney Twitter account just started dropping all this stuff, like this is coming to Disney Plus, and this is coming to Disney Plus, and this is the date it's going to release, and this is the price, and this is coming. And I stood there on the floor with them and read the whole list and just was like geeking out over every little thing that they were they were putting out there for that service. So it's going to be fucking
Wait,
phenomenal.
what was the Jeff Goldblum thing?
The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
Yes. Yeah.
Is going to be a series.
Oh my god. Just take my money, please. Take all my money.
Is that like a talk show?
I think it's actually going to be him narrating a nature show for National Geographic.
Okay.
I think that's what
it was
it's going
something
to
with
be.
Nat Geo.
Yeah.
It was definitely something with Nat Geo.
So I think that's what it'll be, some sort of nature science thing. But I could listen to that man narrate anything.
Absolutely.
So
we
there's
could
just
save
so
one of
many
those for the
things.
review too.
There's just so many things.
All right, last call. And any final thoughts for the trailer? We're gonna wrap it up.
Where's Jana?
Thank God Lando's back. Can't
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
wait.
Oh,
for
he got
Lando.
a really big cheer.
He did.
For that part of the trailer.
Everybody was waiting this whole time. Like, everybody knew that those three were coming back, but nobody was sure if they'd bring Billy D back or not. And getting him out there was great.
Surprised he's still fitting that outfit from Solo. It's got to be a little tight.
Yeah. Perhaps.
He was working out. out.
Yeah. They did make him go to the gym. He made a point of telling us that at the panel. All right, so yeah, we're all looking forward to this. I don't know if we'll talk about any other trailers because, again, I think I'm with Mike. I don't know if I'm going to watch any more after this. I'm going to try to go in clean from here on out. So I don't think we'll get to talk about anything else. Paula, you can watch everything that you.
Yes, please chat with me. I will talk about all trailers all the time.
So that's where we're going to leave it for this one. If you enjoyed the show, please stop by iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating and review. Be sure to share, subscribe, favorite the show. As always, you can find us on Facebook, search Bry Guy and Super Friends, or go to facebook.com/BryGuySuperFriends. You can send us questions, comments, topic suggestions, anything you would like there. I continually give out this email even though I don't check it, bryguysuperfriends@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at BGSuperFriends on Twitter. On behalf of Paula, Andy, Mike, and myself, thank you for listening. We will talk to you next time.